Good evening. We're going to go ahead and get started. So if people want to come and take their seats. A few just housekeeping things before we begin. I'll talk a little bit about our program tonight, but this is a very informal affair. And on a nice, hot, sticky night, I encourage you to take breaks as needed, use the air conditioning. I would encourage you, if you need to go to the bathroom, to use the doors down at that end, since we'll have folks over on this side. There is still tons of dessert and food, so if you need seconds and want to break under the tent, feel free to continue the potluck part of the evening. So, I would like to start by welcoming our seniors, their families, their friends, and the HP Woodlawn faculty to the class of 2022 graduation. This evening and this event are one of the things I love most about HP Woodlawn. There are few places where the faculty of a school get to watch their students grow up from 6th grade to senior year. Tonight, we will take the opportunity to acknowledge each of these young people as the individual we have come to know and love during their time here at HB. I would like to briefly introduce a couple of guests. We have school board member David Priddy and two members of the executive leadership team here with us tonight, Ms. Kim Graves and Dr. Jason Otley. I'm not sure if he's here yet to raise his hand, but also tonight we'll have former principal Frank Halterwenger here with us as well. Oh, there's Frank. All right. He's a smart guy in the shade over there. All right. So thank you all for joining us. I am proud of every class that graduates and stands on our stage, but I'm especially proud of this class, the 51st graduating class of HB Woodlawn. 51 years ago, a group of teachers and students embarked on a journey to create an educational path that was new, experimental, and different. And once again, 51 years later, a group of teachers and students came together to create a school year that, not by choice, was new, experimental, and different. These young people gathered here tonight, most of whom I met as little 6th graders in the fall of 2016, rose to the challenge. The HB Woodlawn class of 2022 has overcome more than their share of difficulties. They transitioned from one building to the next in the middle of their high school years. Many of the traditions they looked forward to were disrupted or changed. And then it turned out that was nowhere near the hardest thing they would face. Almost their entire junior year happened virtually. They missed so many of those in-person experiences, and yet they persevered. Not only did they persevere, they stayed remarkably positive. They made the absolute best of the opportunities they did have. In many ways, they became responsible for keeping our traditions going as we came back to full-time in-person school this year. Watching them gather over the last week to share their senior projects, sign yearbooks, paint their senior wall, and sing our songs at the assembly today, it made me feel like we were finally making this place home. As you will learn this evening, this group of students has come from all over the world, and they will eventually spread out all over the country and the world as they embark on their next steps after high school. They would not be here if it were not for the support of their families and friends. Our graduation celebration is special, albeit not short. We will call the name of each student, and their TA, a person who knows them well, will give some short remarks about each student. We encourage you to stay until the last name has been read. So, with no further delay, I welcome Liz Waters to the stage for a brief announcement.
Okay, so HB Woodlawn every year gives a few scholarships and awards to students who embody aspects of our community that are important. And I just want to give you a quick rundown on the scholarships that we gave this morning at our teacher play. So the Pat Riley Scholarship is given in memory of a former math teacher at HB, to someone who accepts all kinds of people, is willing to fight for the underdog, and gives active service in helping others. This year's Pat Riley Award goes to Ori Brown. The Judy Mayu Scholarship is given in memory of a beloved librarian at HB to a student who is kind, caring, looks out for others, and is a skilled creative writer. This year, the scholarship went to Camila Anderson. The Ray Anderson Scholarship is given in honor of one of the founders of HB Woodlawn to a student who participates actively in town meeting and political campaigns and who advocates for progressive change in curriculum and student empowerment at HB and in the larger community. This award goes to Carly Cameron. The Frank Halterwenger Scholarship is given in honor of our most recently retired principal to a student who's combined the HB value of caring community along with a demonstrated love of music through either singing, playing, or composing. This award goes to Ephraim Connor. The Jasper Award is given in memory of Caitlin Poppadin, an HB Woodlawn alum who was active in the theater program and was known as Jasper among her theater colleagues. This award is given to a senior who's made outstanding contributions to HB Theater and who's been dedicated to multiple facets of the theater program. This award goes to Maddox Cromash. And finally, the Antoine Townsend Memorial Scholarship is given to honor the memory of a beloved HB staff member who excelled at making all students feel like valued members of the community. It's given to a student who shows dedication to the HB Woodlawn program, making everyone feel at home here, and who's active in volunteering and youth sports in the community. This award goes to Bridget Donaghy. And now I turn it over to Michael Coughlin.
Come on up, friends. Yeah, like now. Our first graduate to honor tonight is Marifel Soto Loza. Marifel, come on over. Marifel, we are so happy to see you here. We've all been through a lot these last 2 years, but with the help and love of your family and friends and your own determination to not give up, here you are. We're really proud of you. Marifel, you are soft-spoken, a woman of few words, but your actions speak the loudest. Those actions that have brought you from knowing not a single word of English 4 years ago to this graduation stage tonight. We know you have a lot to say and a lot to give. You are thoughtful, gentle, and kind, and the world sure needs more of that. As you leave us tonight and go on to the next phase of your life, please be proud of all you have accomplished here. And remember that you have so much kindness and friendship to give, and that it's okay to show who you are and to turn up the volume when you need to. Congratulations. Israel Giovanni Romero. Ooh. Got some friends out there. All right, so Giovanni, here you are on the graduation stage, and you came to this country as a 16-year-old with, on your own, no English, to live with your older brother, an HB grad, by the way, and to start a new life for yourself. And we know it hasn't been easy. You've had so much responsibility to work, pay rent, and basically take care of yourself. But in spite of all that, you learned English so quickly, and you seem to acculturate to American culture so effortlessly. And I think a lot of your success is due to your natural curiosity about people, about the world around you, and also your willingness to take risks. Giovanni, you told me, that you're proud of how far you've come, and you should be. And you also said how grateful you are for all the support you receive from your teachers, especially Kate, he mentioned. We know that you will take that self-confidence and that gratitude with you as you continue to take calculated risks like the one that brought you here 3.5 years ago. Congratulations, my friend. Yeah. Jonathan Murillo Valdez. Jonathan, right on cue, the smile. That smile reveals what a kind, positive, generous, humble person that you are. And that's how you were when you first arrived at HB 3.5 years ago without a single word of English. But you also told me that back then you felt embarrassed sometimes because you couldn't understand what people were saying to you. Fast forward, and we know how proud you are that you have acquired so much English, obtained all the credits, passed the SOLs, and you're here tonight. And you did it through hard work, asking for help, and persistence. That voice in your head that you told me about, that voice of your mom telling you to go to school, that has served you well. So as you go off next year to work and save money for college, carry with you that positive attitude, that generosity, and that smile as you remember all you have accomplished here at HB. Congratulations. Wilfredo Cruz Lopez. Wilfredo, you are a much loved guy around here. You show up every day on time. In spite of all the hours you put in at your job, you work hard, you ask for help when you need it, and look where you are today, my friend. When you arrived in this country 4 years ago, you remember, you didn't speak a word of English. But your intense desire to always move forward, to always improve yourself, have led you to this day. And you did it all with kindness toward your teachers and your classmates, and a willingness to share your love of cooking and of your beautiful country, Guatemala. You did it right. And you stand here today as an example for other students who also come from around the world to achieve their dreams in this country. You told me that HB made you a better person, but you also made HB a better place for all of us. We can only imagine how proud your grandparents are to see you here today. Congratulations, Wilfredo. Tensai Balcha. Tensai. Wow. You are a quiet force of nature. When you arrived at HB 2.5 years ago, we realized very quickly, not by your words, but by your deeds, what an excellent student you are. You even thrived during the dreaded distance learning year. Your strong work ethic and your high standards always carried you toward your well-thought-out goals, which were earning good grades and moving on to college. But your natural curiosity also led you down an unexpected path, your love for photography. With your artistic eye and your eventual frustrating mastery of exposure and aperture, you won 3 Scholastic Photography Awards. So now here you are, Tensai, headed off to George Mason in the fall to study public health and to continue your quest to make this country and the world a better place for everyone. We are so proud of you. Congratulations. Josue Castillo Albanese. Josue, you are a special young man. You came from El Salvador 2.5 years ago with some English, but look at how your language has improved since then. You've done the hard work to operate at the highest academic levels here at HB, and even though I know we're not supposed to talk about grades, you killed it here, in a second language no less. But that's only part of your story. You were recognized by Arlington County for exemplary leadership during Hispanic Heritage Month last year. You helped newly arrived students with their classwork and acculturation, and even to study for the driver's license test. You're even a talented musician, for goodness sake. And most importantly, I would argue, you are unfailingly dedicated to your family. The time and financial support and love that you devote to your parents and your sister is inspiring to all of us. So, as you go on next year to begin your studies at Nova and beyond, I would say, don't change a thing. Keep being who you are and come back to share with us all of your future successes in your new country. Congratulations, Josue. Thank you. And Maggie Carpenter is up next.
My students. Come on, my four. Here we go. The title of this story is Show Up, Lift Up. I've known Alyssa since she was a bookworm in 6th grade. Percy doodled in my 7th grade TA. I met 8th grader Sean in his Star Wars cap when he had only a couple of Star Wars medals hanging around his neck. And Sasha I met when he was only 5 foot something in 9th grade, soon to be dancing on HB's stage with a part in Grease. What an honor to share with you and your loved ones this chapter of such beautiful transformation and growth. In 5, 10 years, 20 years, pains from losses like that of our friend Hannah will have softened, I do hope. Keep strong the knowledge of how little acts of friendship made a difference, like how you welcomed younger students new to HB into our TA, or were one another's secret snowflakes. In 2020, during TA time together online, it was showing up, turning on your cameras, and making us know we were still there for one another as sources of strength. You've lifted others up through service, like when Sean raised money for endangered bats. Being a super dependable person, he ran a popcorn sale. Knowing it would draw a ton of middle schoolers all at once, he needed assistance, and Percy showed up. Alyssa was there for homeless people with her partnership with Will Torg in their 9th grade. In a year-long shoe drive, they gathered hundreds of pairs of shoes for a program called Back on My Feet. Sasha was there for his relatives in Ukraine, teaching Americans like me, Percy, and Atlas Ukrainian history, building a bridge of understanding and healing for students both there and here. And in all of those efforts, you four have reflected the good values of your parents who have shown up and lifted you up, challenge after humbling challenge. That's commitment. To reflect on personal triumphs, Sean, your first screenplays, your steadfast effort to get a job someday with Lucasfilms is really admirable. Your craft won you the film award that Kathleen announced this morning. You'll create heroic and epic stories like Star Wars, ones about noble sacrifice that stir people towards the greater good. Percy, you are a phenomenal problem solver in computer science, in veganism, and spotlighting animal rights. Your award-winning art is like your counsel to others in the community, calm and nurturing. Sasha, somehow, during lockdown, isolated at home, you obtained all the rowing equipment you needed to train for your crew team. You showed up strong and skilled to help your boat race to 2nd place in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And Alyssa, you're a masterful storyteller in Dungeons and Dragons games, creative writing, and in stage productions. You explore adventure and emotion, drawing from a deep well of creativity and human experience. You have really been there for your winning Frisbee team and for dear friends like Maddox and Michael. They have told me so. Alyssa, with your understanding eyes, your compassion, your loyal respect for others, you lift others up as you make them feel heard, understood, and valued. Getting through the pandemic as a teenager, I hope, will be the most challenging chapter of your lives. Thank you for being the kind of marvelous team players that HB wishes to inspire and nurture. By following models of dedication, and we saw it through virtual school, we've seen it through these years, dedication like Casey, Graham, Kate, Grace, Steve, Kathleen, Hope, Faylinda, John, and all of your teachers who showed up for you, lifted you up. You can't help but reap the benefits that commitment gives you. Good luck. Carl is next.
All right, trio, come on up.
Hey guys, whenever you hear your TA is next, just hustle on up, okay?
Hello. All right. Ephraim, Connor. Ephraim, you possess extreme strength of character and have shown it in many ways at HB. It's been a joy to work with you for 7 years in band. You play with passion, tremendous musicianship, and lots of air. Seriously, you always inspired those around you to do the same, and I'm extremely grateful for that. As a student, you are eager to dive in and explore and challenge yourself. You seek to understand the world around you, and I'd say you're doing a pretty darn good job so far at that. With your Ultimate Frisbee crew, you're a leader, and a selfless one at that. In all things, you are genuine, humble, and enthusiastic. Keep it up. As a memento, I want to give you this music folder. Inside, you'll find both the trombone and vocal parts to Georgia on My Mind. It's a sweet song. Thanks, Carl. Colin Davis. Colin, I am honored to be able to share this window into who you are and your amazing accomplishments, because you're not always one to toot your own horn, and that's a good thing. Anurag, I know you're out there. It has been a wonderful experience to get to know you, Colin. You're an excellent tuba player, and you made a tough decision junior year to take that band time and devote it to your study in the area of computers and cybersecurity. You received the Cyber STEM Program Certificate from a local organization called the FBI. You are headed for amazing things in this field, and that is incredibly exciting. Another window is into that part of this building that doesn't have windows, at least literal ones. The theater program. You have done amazing work in the area of lighting design, complete with the Cappies nomination. Colin, I am proud of you, and I want to give you this music folder, which contains the tuba part to the first suite for military band in E-flat by Gustav Holst. Once a tuba player, always a tuba player. And Cameron Mcgee. Cameron, you amaze me. And you have done so in many ways since I first met you when you joined us at HB in 9th grade. You are an artist through and through and a master craftsman. This doesn't happen with the flip of a switch. This is long-term. This is deep. This is where work and play collide. You have played and worked your heart out for our music program as a percussionist in many a concert band, jazz combo, pit orchestra, orchestra, you name it. Thank you for that. You are industrious, landscaping, video editing, pinball machine making, organ building, and I could keep going. And all the while, you do this with a wonderfully dry sense of humor and a fierce, fierce loyalty towards the lucky people who are in an ensemble with you. In this folder, you'll find the snare drum part to Maurice Ravel's Bolero, one of the most famous snare drum parts in the repertoire. It keeps going and going and going, as will you. Next up, we have Rebecca Bienek.
Good evening. I'm going to start with Gemma Friedman. Gemma possesses a quiet confidence. She is observant and acutely attuned to the emotional tone of people around her. Once Gemma has defined something as important to her, she doesn't waver when others around her may have different values. I remember in 10th grade when Gemma initiated a campaign to end the use of the R word. She made a banner, hung it in the cafeteria, and invited students to sign a pledge to educate others and to end the use of this word. Gemma is principled and holds her ground when challenged on her values and beliefs. Playing Frisbee is another one of Gemma's interests. She has played on the HB Ultimate Frisbee team all throughout high school, and last year played on a DC area women's Frisbee team, which took second place in the national tournament. Even though most of the players on the team were more experienced and maybe stronger players, Gemma worked hard to play up to their level. I am certain that Gemma will continue to improve her community and make an impact on those whose voices go unheard. Congratulations. Zara Cruz is next. Zara is empathetic and compassionate. Zara is also not afraid of doing hard things. In fact, I'd say she's really good at it. She challenges herself and steps outside of her comfort zone regularly. Zara is also someone who is willing to invest her time and efforts to pursue her interests and passions beyond the classroom confines. Zara is passionate about national and international issues. As a member of Model UN, Zara was an invaluable participant of her team as she delved into research and provided solutions for social, political, and economic issues. By the end of sophomore year, Zara had completed all of her social studies requirements, but still wanted to learn more about history and current political issues. Zara extended her studies by duly enrolling in and taking several courses with a focus on world politics at Nova Community College. Zara is a thoughtful presence among her peers without being a know-it-all. It is reassuring to know Zara is an agent of change who will make the world a better place to live in. Proud of you. Thank you. I was so nervous to do that. Oh my God. Mary Catherine Music. Thank you. Mary Catherine is someone who takes her responsibilities very seriously, follows through on her commitments, and always gives her best effort. Mary Catherine's diligence and tenacity is also evident in her academic studies, and especially in social studies and Latin. She is not only interested in taking in knowledge, but she also takes advantage of opportunities to pay it forward, whether it's being a teacher's assistant in Latin or tech theater director. Mary Catherine enjoys working with and mentoring younger students and giving back to her community. When inspired to achieve a particular goal, Mary Catherine is unstoppable. Starting in middle school, she methodically built her theater career at HB, starting from run crew, moving from sound and light board operator to designer, acting in a play, helping with costumes, and learning various skills for set design. In fact, freshman year, she received a Cappy's nomination for stage managing her first full-length show. Mary Catherine further extended her experience as stage manager for Signature Theater's play Unresigned. Having done all of this in the time that she's been at HB, I can only imagine how much she will accomplish in college and beyond. Congratulations. James Orrell. James is a dedicated and musically talented young man. He writes songs, he plays the guitar in jazz band and jazz combo, and has played the trumpet all throughout middle and high school. It's rumored that in 8th grade, James would regularly stop by Dan's room to play Don't Stop Believing on the piano. I remember watching and listening to James playing the guitar during HB in 9th grade. I didn't know it at the time, but James was actually teaching himself how to play using one of the beat-up acoustics laying around. Since then, he has wowed staff and peers alike with his guitar solos and has become known as the voice of HB, setting an encouraging and upbeat tone every morning through daily announcements. James's dedication and positive attitude extends beyond music. He has been active in theater, participating in several black box productions, including playing the role of Oliver in As You Like It, and an active member of Ultimate Frisbee Team, where he was voted Most Improved Player and earned the Spirit Award. I know James will continue to seize every opportunity to further develop his naturally creative means for expression. Congratulations. Go get your leg. Cody Riggs. Cody is passionate about theater, art, and helping others. Cody's creative bend shows in the art he has created for school and personal projects, such as making reversible octopus stuffies for friends, knitting hats for family, and more recently, writing songs. Theater is another form of creative expression for Cody. He has participated in numerous productions as an actor and as a director. In 8th grade, Cody was cast in the role of King John and memorized over 100 lines of Shakespeare. In high school, Cody stepped into a mentorship role with younger and less experienced students interested in theater. Cody cares deeply about people, is a good listener, and accepts everyone without judgment. Cody is the kind of friend who sits with someone while they are in a hard place and listens. During freshman year, Cody became friends with another student who was hearing impaired. Seeing the challenges that friend had in a world that doesn't always provide accommodations inspired Cody to take American Sign Language, which he did, completed 3 years, and will continue to pursue studying in college. I am hopeful and excited about the impact Cody will make in this world. Congratulations. Next up is Jennifer Gohan.
Jackson Burt. Jackson Burt has no problem being himself and saying what he thinks. His teachers have appreciated his candid, clear communication, dry humor, and quick wit. I am also going to miss learning from Jackson. Before he started his 11th grade year in English with me, Jackson read every single one of the books on my summer reading list. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't even read every single one of the books on my summer reading list. I knew from that moment that Jackson was someone special. I'm going to miss our talks, even if I am just smiling and nodding while he assumes I can understand him when he starts talking about things like full flow staged combustion cycle rocket engines. But this kind of thinking is a regular day for Jackson, who has nurtured a lifelong obsession with rocketry and space. He plans to become an astronautical engineer specializing in propulsion design for interplanetary missions. His dream is to launch rockets to Mars. He works as a companion for the elderly, and he volunteers as a tech specialist at a retirement home. Jackson's path at HB Woodlawn hasn't been traditional, but that's just the way we like it here. Jackson, you are one of a kind, courageous, an overcomer, and I have really enjoyed knowing you. Don't be a stranger to these halls. Alice Campbell. As is often true, there is so much more to Alice Campbell than meets the eye. For example, Alice is legally blind, yet she has won multiple awards in a visual art. Additionally, I might have misjudged her athleticism since she looks so unassuming on the outside. But in fact, Alice is an Olympic-style weightlifter who is on track to compete at nationals and a fully certified yoga instructor. And if I didn't know better, I might have looked at Alice's transcript and guessed she didn't do anything besides study in her free time in order to keep up her stellar GPA. I would have been wrong there too. She is an active community volunteer. She mentors visually impaired students and teaches them how to read Braille, use devices for the visually impaired, and how to use a blind cane. She's also a helpline volunteer at the National Eating Disorder Association to answer questions and provide support. Alice also teaches a weekly yoga class for teenagers suffering with eating disorders and mental illness. Alice plans to attend college, study biochemistry, and begin her work on her journey to become a dietitian. And because she said she is going to do it, I know for sure that she will. Next up is Carolyn Crumpler.
Right into it. Don't make me stand alone. Come closer to me. Because I just want you near me. I was going to start with Heather. Heather Wilkin. Heather just exudes calm. Despite the stresses of high school life, Heather always projects a laid-back energy that I try to channel whenever I'm around her. I think it's her easygoing nature that first draws people to her, and once drawn in, you're quick to discover the warmth and empathy behind the chill vibe. She shares her steady kindness with many around her, from her tight-knit group of friends to fellow women's camerata and chamber singers to the various animal rescue and environmental groups with whom she's volunteered. She was even voted as favorite counselor at the summer camp where she spends her summers, no doubt because of her supportive and gentle nature. She also brings fun wherever she goes, from her photography-inspired travels for her senior project to the famous cakes that Sweater Weather Heather is known for in Spanish. Heather recently told me that the thing she'll miss the most about HB is the community she's been surrounded by the last 7 years, and I have no doubt her calm, cool, caring ways will quickly draw a new community around her next year. Congratulations, Heather. Georgia Thomas. For Georgia, making decisions is never easy. But after years of watching her agonize over what class or college or extracurricular to choose, I know that she's very careful with her choices because once decided, she'll invest herself 150%. Georgia puts immense time, effort, and heart into all she does. She's been equally passionate about math and psychology as she is about music and language, learning Japanese and French alongside advanced calculus classes. She has a sense of adventure, and whether with Model United Nations or our TA or her close group of friends, she always seems up to try something new. Georgia is also a talented musician on both the flute and piano, not only skillful, but savvy enough to run her own piano lesson business, even through the struggles of virtual pandemic teaching. She is resilient and as patient as they come. I'm confident, Georgia, you're equipped with a great head on your shoulders to take on a new chapter of decision-making in the Big Apple next year. Congratulations. Taylor Mcquinney. What brought Taylor and I together 4 years ago was a shared love of organization. And let me tell you, Taylor is on top of things. And while that doesn't mean she hasn't fallen prey to procrastination at times, she knows herself so well that she never fails to make a plan. She knows how to ask for help and take any setbacks in stride. She is always stepping up to help manage crises, large and small, and does it effectively and seamlessly. From her leadership in the senior class to teacher assistance in Spanish classrooms to the holiday gift drive and Adopt a Senior program she spearheaded during the pandemic, she's constantly making our community a better place. I cannot count the number of people at HB Woodlawn who've depended on you, Taylor. I have many times witnessed her rush to the side of a sick student or a stressed teacher, always with confident reassurance that she's here to help. While we've always assumed Taylor's life path would lead her to a career in medicine, whether she ends up as Dr. Mcquinney or not, I know your road will be one of connection and service to others, considering the lifelong bonds you've made here. Best wishes. Izzy Lloyd. I've always thought that Izzy looks interesting, Maybe it's the ever-changing hair colors and styles, or the intricate homemade clothing, or the eclectic group of people she attracts. As it turns out, Izzy is even more interesting when you get to know her, and is probably one of the most interested students I've ever met. Her interests are diverse. She's always been a voracious reader. She just read 40 books in 21 days for her senior project, but also discovered a love of science that led her to take many challenging science courses and even do a surgical program over the summer at Stanford. She also has a talent for making interesting things in many mediums. She sews, draws, writes, and bakes. And she enjoys finding ways to share her talents with others, whether she's costuming for our theater department or starting a pandemic pen pal exchange with senior citizens or leading a Feb Fest on the science of art and baking. Making connections with others is a priority for Izzy, and she has many positive relationships because of it. I know this inquisitive, imaginative young woman has an interesting future in store, and I can't wait to see where life takes you. Eli. The Eli standing here today is such a different one than the guy I met 4 years ago. And I'm not just referring to his man bun, which was a fantastic pandemic-era addition. He has grown up so much since 9th grade. And while he's always been an empathetic and sensitive soul, over the years he's developed the ability to reflect deeply, take responsibility, and cope with resilience and grace. During high school, he thoroughly enjoyed exploring human behavior in the brain in AP psychology and discovered a love of computer science when teaching himself coding during a summer internship with defense contractors. But perhaps the best learning experience for Eli this year was directing a black box play, putting into action his gift for compromise, effective communication, and big picture thinking. Eli is a natural at making meaningful connections with others, especially those he cares most about. He's intensely loyal to his friends and family and has a huge heart. This year, Eli totally trusted the process with the Posse Scholarship. And while he might not have ever pictured himself moving to Minnesota, I admire his willingness to explore the unexpected. I know his creativity and kindness will help him find his way next year. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Anna Christina Fatumi. Anna Christina, better known as AC, is quick. She's a quick learner, the kind of student that just gets it and rarely has to be told more than once how to do something. She's the very definition of a self-starter, sometimes never needing to hear instructions in order to be successful. She's masterful and confident in interpreting things on her own. She's also impressively efficient and somehow makes completing a lengthy to-do list look easy. Her efficiency gives AC time to do the things she loves, like supporting her close group of friends, enjoying time outdoors, and playing sports. When it comes to sports, AC is a great balance of competitive and fun-loving. Over the years, she's done field hockey and lacrosse and crew, but always took time to help coach and volunteer at clinics for younger players. She also took the HB Ninjas game more seriously than most, but was never too hurried to help out underclassmen along the way. I'm sure AC will be quick to find her niche and learn the ropes next year, and I wish you the best of luck. Camila Anderson. When I was planning what I was going to say about Camila, I actually looked up All-Star in the thesaurus. Distinguished, acclaimed, and legendary all didn't quite feel right, because what makes her so outstanding is her subtle awesomeness. For example, you probably did not know that Camila won 5 straight gold medals on the National Latin exam, or that she was a National Merit Scholarship finalist this year. Her noteworthy participation in Model General Assembly 4 years running led to her twice being nominated to represent our state at the Council of National Affairs. I could go on, but I don't want to embarrass the ever-humble Camila, whose pursuits are never for the recognition. She just does what she's passionate about and does it like an all-star. Whether she's writing scripts, directing, or acting in plays, teaching middle school Latin classes, or watching reality TV with her friends, she brings good nature and a great sense of humor to all she does. She can talk intelligently about anything from the NFL to story arcs in Lifetime movies to complex political issues, and is always willing to share her opinions, ask for yours, and listen with an open mind. This all-star is going to change the world for the better, and I can't wait to see it, Camila. Next up is Kate Sessions, TA.
All right. All right, Tyler, you're up first. All right. All right, so I ran my first hiring committee the spring of my first year at HB Woodlawn. I can't remember what job we were hiring for or who we hired, but I can remember that Tyler was on that committee with me, and man, was he great at hiring. Tyler, on that committee and many committees since, you've been poised, insightful, and an amazing mediator of differing opinions. I've learned a lot from your patient listening ear, your keen ability to read new people, and your willingness to build consensus within a group. Another thing I've been reminded of as I've gotten to know you is that hard things take hard work, and that great things come when you're willing to put in the hard work. In a world of curated selfies, best take of 50, Instagram perfect stories, I'm impressed by your open approach to that hard work. You model the permission we all need to let hard things be hard, to iterate, to draft, revise, and reach success honestly, without the shrugging pretense that it was or should have ever been effortless. You throw yourself at a thing wholly and without complaint, taking every necessary step toward your goal. I've developed a sort of scale for the kind of effort a task is going to require. Doing it the Tyler way has become synonymous with going all in, paying attention to the details and seeing everything through until it's complete and I'm satisfied. Congratulations. All right, Toby. All right. I met Toby and his dad a few weeks into his freshman year when he was offered a spot at HB Woodlawn. After that meeting, I remember thinking, this kid is never going to come to HB. He's doing great at Yorktown. He doesn't need to make a switch. And to an extent, I was correct. Toby, there are smart people you could seek out to help curate and guide your way anywhere. You love learning. You are compassionate and curious. And I have no doubt these traits would have made you stand out even in a class of hundreds of entering freshmen. What I couldn't anticipate then was that while you didn't need us, HB Woodlawn did need you. Our classrooms and broader school community are richer, kinder, more curious, and more engaged because you've been here for the last 4 years. You love to learn, and you show up to everything you do with courage, a willingness to be vulnerable, and a steadfast desire to learn and grow. That is your gift. Your credit is how kindly and inclusive you use those gifts. I'm impressed by the sheer amount of things you know and the connections you make so easily. I never feel like you're showing off, though. Toby, you see your learning as a tool to better understand the world around you, and you use that learning to make the world around you better. Congratulations.
Yeah, Toby!
All right. Nathan. All right. For reasons that we don't need to go into here, I've known Nathan almost since the day he was born. And from a very young age, Nathan has been an individual, confident, and ready for the next step. I have a very vivid memory of walking through a parking garage with Nathan and his mom when he was about 4. She asked him to hold her hand, and he instead moved a little farther to the side of the garage and climbed on some construction scaffolding and started to shuffle his way out of the garage. A few years later, my husband recalls Nathan's legion of Lego and Sculpey adventurers marching on his dad's monthly D&D table. I journeyed the middle school years with him as Nathan's storied Frisbee career at HB Woodlawn began on the first day it possibly could. He's left his all on multiple fields across Arlington and this year at the National Ultimate Championships in Richmond. More recently, I watched him set out to hike a stretch of the Appalachian Trail, leaving behind all routines and comforts, confidently taking step after soggy step. Nathan, over the last 18 years, you've shared your sense of independence and confidence with your family, your friends, and your teammates. I've seen you take so many steps, and while I know you're ready for the next one, the playing fields, our hallways, and I guess parking garages won't be the same without you. We're going to miss you. Congratulations. All right, Austin. All right. I remember standing in the main yellow stairway of the old HB Woodlawn building and hearing 6th grade Austin long before I saw and got to know 6th grade Austin. I remember being shocked at how someone at that time, so small, could be so dang loud. And so perfectly comfortable talking with the odd high schooler who braved that first floor hallway, the office staff, all of his teachers. This inclusivity is what makes you so special, Austin. You talk to everyone, and when you do, it's like this instant kinship develops. You put people at ease, and you invite them in to be part of the group, on the inside of a joke or a thoughtful conversation, and it's remarkable. This gift was evident to me and to Chris as you volunteered with her 6th grade math class this year. As Chris likes to joke, she stayed Chris all year long. You became Mr. Austin pretty quickly. Your sense of humor and enthusiasm for math was contagious. You signed on to help students navigate math at a time when a lot of kids lose their confidence and joy in math class, and that's remarkable. What's more remarkable is how you cleared the ground for a strong math community at HB Woodlawn that will last for the next 7 years as those students move through middle school and high school. Austin, you are a connector, you love fun, and I have no doubt you will keep building amazing communities everywhere you go. Congratulations. All right, last but not least, Cole. All right, so I feel a little extra pressure giving this particular speech tonight because Cole might be the most high-profile member of my TA this year. So you might think it's because of his incredible artistic skill, a gift he has shared in classes, on T-shirts, and even secretly on the Welcome Back to School Teachers banner we hung in the lobby last March. Or maybe it's his incredible collection of T-shirts, my particular favorite being the Obama as Morpheus classic, but it's not. You might think it's because of that haiku battle he won back in 6th grade, or the portrait of Jeff Fishbein he was commissioned to create in middle school when Jeff retired. But again, it's not. You might think it's because the whole school now recognizes Cole as the literal poster child for Frisbee conditioning. And, well, it is that. But more than anything else, it's because of the unfailingly kind way in which he moves in the world. The way he makes space and time to see and support his friends, teammates, and classmates on the Frisbee field and in the classroom. Cole, you are artistic, compassionate, and athletic. And above everything else, you are a friend and a teammate people can count on. Congratulations.
Rachel.
Okay, I'm going to start with Bridget. No, I'm a little bit taller than Kate. There we go. Okay, come on up here. When Bridget first joined my TA as a 9th grader, I learned not only did she participate in several sports, but she was also a paid umpire and basketball referee. Now, I know none of you are like this, but some parents and coaches get very heated when decisions don't go their kids' way. I was impressed that as a young teacher, teenager, probably this tall, maybe, Bridget was unfazed by pressure from parents and coaches and was rightfully confident in her calls. Bridget's work in the Arlington Community Youth Sports League was recognized today when she was awarded the Antoine Townsend Scholarship. She also received the Louis Armstrong Award for her overall contribution to HB's jazz band. Bridget is an intelligent, self-assured, level-headed young woman. She is friendly, inclusive, and loves good conversation. She is her own person and doesn't suffer fools. Bridget has been focused on computer science since 7th grade. I think she has taken about every computer class offered at HB and at the Career Center and was selected for several competitive computer and cybersecurity programs. Bridget intends to pursue a career in computer science at Marquette University. I love that the quality of Milwaukee's professional sports teams played a role in your college decision. I'm going to miss you and your wonderful sense of humor next year, exemplified by what you wrote on the senior wall. I don't have regrets. There are just some things I wish I hadn't done. I know your future looks bright, and I can't wait to see where your path takes you. Congratulations. Emma, come on up. Emma is most happy reading a book about some aspect of history. Over these past years, I rarely have seen her without a book nearby. I had the pleasure of having Emma in 2 of my math classes where she earned A's both years. Emma has a strong aptitude for math. She just doesn't know it yet. I know your passion is history, but if you ever decide to come to the dark side, you would be more than welcome in the world of math. Emma's other happy place is behind the scenes of a theater production. She has dedicated countless hours to HB's theater program and a variety of back-of-the-stage roles. In recognition of Emma's leadership skills, passion, and dedication, her theater peers elected Emma to be one of the 2 technical directors this year, a huge undertaking. For her senior project, Emma organized HB's prop room, which I hear was a chaotic mess, but now will be ready for next year's Thespians. Hope told me you did a fabulous job. Emma will be pursuing a degree in history at Franklin and Marshall next year, but I suspect she will also be involved in their theater program. Emma is smart, kind, compassionate, and welcoming. I'm going to miss seeing you at HB next year, but I know your future looks bright, and I can't wait to see where your path takes you. Here you go. I want to do a shout out to Jack. He did the calligraphy in these books, so I really appreciate that. Okay, Mathilde. Mathilde is a Renaissance woman, wonderfully multidimensional. She is fluent in both French and Spanish and spent part of the COVID shutdown teaching herself Korean so she could better understand Korean culture and music. Mathilde has been recognized for her artistic talents and even helped paint a window scene in Dave Contessa's otherwise windowless basement classroom for her senior project. She's also an actor. I have had the pleasure of seeing Mathilde's impressive acting skills on stage. Mathilde has spent countless hours rowing for Wakefield's crew team. Her practices start on the water at 5:30 a.m. I wish I had that kind of dedication. Mathilde's team was state champions 3 out of the past 4 years. The years that didn't win was 2020 when the state competition was canceled. Mathilde loves learning. She is delightfully curious about the world around her. She excels in all of her classes, but her passion is math and science. She intends to pursue a STEM-related degree next year at Georgia Tech. I suspect she will do at least 1 semester abroad. Mathilde is compassionate, easygoing, and welcoming to all. I know she can do anything she sets her mind to. I'm going to miss the times you have stopped by my room in the afternoon to check in and catch up. You are a breath of fresh air. Mathilde, I know your future looks bright, and I can't wait to see where your path takes you. Liz is up.
I'm not. Okay, I'm going to start with Olivia Campbell. One of my favorite memories of Olivia will be how during the pandemic she often showed up at our virtual TA time with a gigantic stuffed something. One time I think it was an avocado. I may be imagining that. But I definitely remember how she kept us laughing with these big stuffed creatures during some dark times. But in-person school, on the other hand, Olivia's most frequent companion is her Starbucks cup. Olivia is a student with so many varied interests, from Latin to math to music. This year I finally got the chance to have a class with her, an English elective, where students could read any novels of their choice. When set free to choose any books she wanted, she gravitated toward tough classics like 100 Years of Solitude and also heart-rending contemporary novels like A Little Life. Olivia does not shy away from a challenge. If you're looking for her at HB, you're likely to find her in the chorus room, the auditorium, or the black box. She has given countless hours to our theater and music programs. What I didn't know about Olivia until recently was her equally strong love of the outdoors. For her senior project, she and her sister traveled to Maine, where they hiked some beautiful trails and sent back some gorgeous pictures. She knows how to find solace in nature. Olivia has a great mind, tremendous talents in the arts, and most importantly, a big heart. Our academic and artistic communities will really miss the way she shared these qualities with us during her years at HB. Congratulations, Olivia. Okay. Okay. Jade Germanson. Jade has an amazing talent for pushing herself out of her comfort zone. If you've seen her in class, you may have gotten to know a diligent, bright, quiet student, one who almost always knows the answer, even if she doesn't always volunteer it. But if this is all you've seen of Jade, you might be amazed to discover the many ways she really has put herself out there. Not only does she cook for herself and travel to interesting places all on her own, but she's presented a paper on sustainable agriculture at a Governor School colloquium, served as a coach for Girls on the Run, and being a long-term volunteer at the Long Branch Nature Center. During the pandemic, she even went and got herself a job at Wendy's, where she learned how to deal respectfully with even the most demanding customers. Anyone who has worked in fast food can imagine how challenging that is for an introvert, and Jade took it all in stride. Another thing you might not know about her is how much she loves to be out walking in her community. At least at the beginning of the year, this is what she told me. And she had one of probably the best schedules in the whole senior class, free blocks at D and E. She often spent her early afternoons walking around the neighborhood. I think she even walked from school to our TA picnic at Bluemont Park, which was 3.5 miles up Wilson Boulevard. She's planning to study computer science in college, and if her life is half as interesting in adulthood as it has been during her high school years, I know Jade is never going to be bored. Congratulations. Ellen Hart. All right. Ellen is one of the most enthusiastic people I know. She is down for a deep conversation about anything, anytime. I know I have enjoyed talking with her about what she was learning in psychology and physics, and everything from whether we believe in ghosts to what we think about existential philosophy. Her mind is a sponge, and I know she's ready to soak up all the knowledge and experiences she'll get to have in college. Ellen's apparent lightheartedness in her approach to life belies her tremendous work ethic. She has worked really hard during her time at HB, not just on her schoolwork, but on important HB projects that benefit everyone in the community, like the yearbook and the equity team. During the pandemic, the yearbook was one of the few physical manifestations of our community that we still had, and Ellen was one of the major powers behind that book. Her leadership is really going to be missed when she leaves us next year. I've seen Ellen grow in Model General Assembly, speaking her mind and bringing great arguments to debate in front of hundreds of students from all over Virginia. She shines in the larger context just as much as she does in class discussions and in the smaller TA conversations we've had over the years. Ellen has a strong commitment to social justice and is particularly interested in learning about the experiences of people whose lives are different from hers. I'm convinced that she's a person who will bring great energy to making a real difference in the world, and I'm proud to know her. Congratulations, Ellen. All right, Charlotte Mulligan. What can't Charlotte do? Honestly, this was my first thought, the first time I saw her dancing on stage years ago in Greece in the old building with what looked like effortless rhythm. I already knew she was a singer and an instrumentalist, but I had no idea how exceptionally broad her talents are. Charlotte has so many achievements in so many arenas, from the academic to the artistic, but some of my favorite Charlotte moments involve the ways she has given back to our community. This year she was a TA in Mark's calculus course. She's been a leader in NHS and our school's a cappella singing group, Hippie High Notes. Even during the pandemic, she used her powers for good. She connected online with a new 6th grader. She tutored her in math and helped her feel like a part of our community, even though we were online. And then, of course, there are the countless times Charlotte has graced our stage, in the old building, the new building, and even in online concerts that definitely kept my spirits up during the pandemic. Charlotte is a thoughtful person in both senses of the word. She really takes time to consider the feelings of other people. And she also thinks deeply about the world around her and the things she's learning. She's intensely independent, focused, and self-directed. I don't know how she's going to narrow down her interests and choose among her strengths to pick a major in college, but I know she'll bring this deep thoughtfulness to all her endeavors. Congratulations, Charlotte. Will Torg. All right. One of my early memories of Will is when he was first joining us at HB in 9th grade, when he signed up for the Model General Assembly. And despite the fact that freshmen in that program really aren't expected to do much, he ended up researching and editing and basically writing the bills for some juniors and seniors. And then he volunteered to give a speech at the Knights of Columbus about his experience, where 9th grade Will got up in a suit and tie in front of a bunch of financial supporters and wowed them with his eloquence. It was an early vision of what Will would become at HB, a leader, a helper, a powerhouse. Witnessing Will in this role, I assumed he was a typical DC political science junkie who followed the news above all else. So imagine my surprise when I learned that no, he's just really well-rounded, and his true intellectual passions lie in the areas of math and science, which he's pursued in governor's school and in classes far beyond what we have available at HB. What I will miss most about Will is the energy he brings to the many chats we've had over the years about everything from plans for the future to what exactly that future is likely to become, given the political and environmental and scientific directions in which our Earth and our fellow humans will likely take it. I love knowing that he'll find other great intellectual communities in college and beyond that will help him become one of the people who answers these questions for the good of all of us. Congratulations, Will. Thank you. Next is Deidre. This one?
Yes, boss. Get over here. I'm not doing this by myself. Hi. Hi. Okay. This is Quinn. Quinn has been in my TA for the last 4 years. So I've known her since she was a little baby freshman. And when I think about like the quintessential HB kid, Quinn is like the kid that comes into my head. HB kids are really dedicated students, and Quinn is. I feel super lucky I got to teach her in 10th grade AP Psychology, mostly because it means I taught her in person for a little while. And because I don't know if you know this, she's an amazing rapper. And I'll probably I'll probably show that video of her and her friends rapping about the brain forever. But also I got to see what a hardworking student she is, what a creative student she is, and that was really special. HB kids are also really arty, and here again I find my friend Quinn, who's a wonderful writer and has really pushed herself and challenged herself to do some new things like film and theater these last few years, and that's been really fun to watch. HB kids are also really caring community members, and Quinn really is. She's a wonderful friend and family member, and she spends a lot of time working on causes that she's passionate about. HB kids also take risks. Quinn came to chat with me about school options a little bit ago, and she was super sure she was going to go one place and went and visited and couldn't stop thinking about another college on her list. And she made a really brave and courageous choice to do that, to go far away, all the way out to California. And I'm super proud of her for being brave enough to do that. I'm also really proud of how smart and funny and dedicated she's become, and I can't wait till she's back at HB telling me all about her adventures out California way. Yay, Quinn.
Let's go. Oh, great and trusted. Ryan's TA. Come on up.
It's Liam and the girls.
Where's Liam? There he is. Hi. This has been one of my favorite groups ever. I learned the secret to bonding with your students is to feed them. For this group, it was cheese, crackers, and apple slices. A simple recipe. If I sound redundant over the next several minutes, it's only because they were all amazing kids. Jackie Betts. Jackie came to HB during her sophomore year, and in doing so showed that she was willing to take risks and open herself up to new experiences and opportunities. It turned out to be a great fit, and we're glad she made that decision. One of the things I love about Jackie is her disposition and positive outlook. She always seemed to have a smile on her face and thrives being around her friends and other people. An outstanding athlete, Jackie participated in several sports, but especially soccer, where she thrived on her travel team for the past 10 years. She loves to compete and be part of a team with a shared goal. Jackie has a strong sense of justice and cares about people and doing her part to help those in need. Whether it was helping to renovate homes for low-income families in West Virginia or assisting refugees and immigrants in Montana, Jackie takes on a responsibility to help others that reveals a person of the highest moral character. It's been such a pleasure getting to know this wonderful young lady, and I know she'll continue to leave her mark. Best of luck, Jackie. Jaden Cordero. Hi, Jaden. Jaden is someone I've known since she was in kindergarten. She's always been a sweet, kind, caring, and empathetic kid. So much more, though. Jaden is a great athlete and loves being involved in sports, outdoor activities, and challenging herself. She's played flag football, cross country, track, and is an especially great soccer player where she was co-captain of the WNL varsity team this year. Jaden is generous, giving, and sees the best in people. She served as my assistant in an economics class this year and was always looking for ways to be useful, even taking some of my nutty sophomores under her wing and pointing them in the right direction. She's creative and industrious. Her mom tells me when her bathing suit obsession threatened to bankrupt her, she mastered the sewing machine and designed and created several of her own. Jaden brings a positive spirit to everything. She joined my TA in her senior year, and getting to know this amazing young lady even better is one of the highlights of my year. Her adventurous spirit, positive and optimistic attitude, kindness and generosity make her someone with so much to offer the world. It's been a great pleasure being around you, Jaden. All the best going forward, and stay in touch. Kate Davis. Hey, Kate. Kate is an intelligent, funny, kind, and overall interesting person. As a student, she's reliable and dedicated. Kate is an outstanding thinker. She is not one to simply go along with the crowd, and she will challenge conventional thinking. She'll speak her mind and stand up for what's right. She is unabashedly honest. You ask her a question, you'll get her true feelings, which speaks to a person with a strong sense of herself. Kate is funny. She has a dry sense of humor and will come out with random comments and observations that will leave her friends cracking up. Kate cares about others and wants to make a difference in the world. She plans on studying psychology or perhaps one day being a therapist. Smart, passionate, insightful, and humorous, Kate brings so many great qualities to the world that awaits her. Because she loves The Office, I'll finish with a quote from the great Michael Scott. May your hat fly as high as your dreams. Best of luck, Kate. Whoops. I'll get you. Lauren Donnelly. Lauren is one of the kindest persons I have ever encountered. She is the type of person who sees the good in everything. She's optimistic, positive. She compliments people. She's so much more than that, though. As a student, she's intelligent, hardworking, and thoughtful. So many facets to this amazing young lady. She was the captain of the Yorktown tennis team and has developed an amazing game. She not only has great talent, but the perfect mindset and temperament for the game. Cool, calm, steady, consistent. I didn't discover what an amazing and accomplished artist she was until last year when I saw one of her paintings. I was like, this is just unfair. Her mom tells me she sold numerous paintings that hang on walls in several states. Incredible. Perhaps the thing I love most about Lauren is how humble and unassuming she is. She is a great and loyal friend and someone who cares deeply for those around her. She would rather focus on others than herself. She's a giver, a person of substance, dignity, and high character. I'm proud to have gotten to know this amazing young lady and look forward to hearing about all the things she'll do. Congratulations, Lauren. Liam Dunn.
Brian?
Don't be afraid.
I'm so scared.
I've enjoyed getting to know Liam over the past 4 years of my TA. Liam is a very intelligent, positive, and entertaining individual. He always has an opinion on whatever the topic at hand is, and it's usually strong and relatively informed. This is indicative of the passion Liam has. He would eat lunch in my room most days, and it wasn't uncommon for him to be holding court, getting the room all riled up. Liam has a great sense of humor and loves to get a laugh out of others. He's well-rounded, has lots of interests, and brings energy across the board. One of the leading members of the Ultimate Team, he could be counted on to bring his best to the field and be a great teammate. Liam is a hard worker and has balanced school, sports, and part-time jobs throughout high school. I'm also told by a couple of other TA members that he gives great advice. Continue having passion and putting yourself out there, Liam. Good things are in store for you. Best of luck. Absolutely. Here we are. The speech. Karenna Johnson. Hey, Karenna. Karenna is someone who carries herself with energy, enthusiasm, confidence, and a great smile. I have fond memories of her coming into my room to talk Duke basketball, for which she has tremendous passion. Passionate is a good word for Karenna. Passion for gymnastics, where she put in hours of hard work to become an outstanding gymnast. Passion for boats and activities on the water, whether working as a dockhand at the marina, driving her boat, or water skiing. Passion for her friends and bringing people together to socialize and create memorable moments. Being the oldest of four, Karenna is a natural leader and has a strong sense of right and wrong and will take a stand for what's just. Karenna is intelligent, independent, and fiercely loyal to those around her. It's been a pleasure getting to know this fun, outgoing, talented, and dynamic individual over the past 4 years. Karenna is ready to take on the world, and I look forward to hearing all about it. Thanks for a great 4 years. Elsa Lectie. Elsa Lectie. Not Elsa. Elsa Lectie. Elsa is another student I gained last year in TA, and she was such an amazing addition. Elsa is one of the most mature and independent kids I've encountered, and it amazes me because she might be the youngest member of this graduating class. Elsa has accomplished so much over the past several years. Like many of her classmates, she's an excellent and dedicated athlete and was a valuable member of her state champion field hockey team. Elsa cares deeply about giving back and making a difference. She started the Red Cross Club at HB and built its membership to impressive numbers. She, along with friends, raised an enormous sum of money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. She's intelligent, dedicated, passionate, and humble. Elsa will always ask you how you're doing and listen and care. She directs conversations away from herself and wants to learn about others. She's independent and open to new experiences. She flew to Norway alone as a 14-year-old to backpack with a group she'd never met. I can't say enough about how much respect and admiration I have for her. Elsa will continue to do amazing things, and I'm so pleased to have gotten to know this amazing young lady. Best of luck going forward, Elsa. Lucy Rogers. You have a fan club out there, Lucy. Lucy also came to my TA just this past year, and I'm so glad she did. Words that come to mind in describing Lucy are energetic and daring. She has a motor that keeps going, and it keeps her involved in tons of activities. She's an athlete, bringing passion and energy, whether competing in flag football, basketball, or crew for Yorktown. She's a worker. Not only is she a diligent student, but she's had part-time jobs that reveal a teenager with tremendous work ethic. Working at a restaurant, Lucy has cultivated outstanding communication skills and the ability to mix it up with all kinds of people. In teaching gymnastics to young kids, Lucy takes pride in serving as a mentor and helping her students gain confidence and skill. She is bold and daring and loves to open herself up to new experiences. In doing so, she's become a confident and competent individual with great time management skills and a readiness to take on even more. Beyond all the accomplishments, Lucy is simply a fun person to be around, with a great sense of humor and a willingness to engage. Lucy, it's been great getting to know you, and keep doing what you're doing. Best of luck. Mallory Ullum. Oh, we go back. Mallory is yet another student I've known since she was in kindergarten, and it's been such a joy to watch her grow up into an incredible young lady. One of the sweetest and kindest people I've encountered. Mallory always had a smile and a kind word for others. She's also strong, smart, independent, and reliable. She's an excellent student with a strong work ethic. I was her coach in rec basketball, and she was the type that would always play her best when it mattered most. I'm sure it was the same way with lacrosse when she became an outstanding player for W&L over the past few years. She cares about others and is a loyal and dedicated friend. Mallory perseveres. She's dealt with challenges that no teenager should face, and she's done it with courage and grace. There are many people who are proud of you for who you are and how you've handled things, and I'm one of them. All those qualities I mentioned will serve you well going forward, Mallory. Just keep being you, and things will be great. It was a pleasure watching you grow up. Best of luck. Ava Walsh. Another one of the old gang. Ava is another amazing young lady. This one I'm proud to say I've known since she was 5 years old. I remember the 8-year-old kid I coached in rec basketball, and at the end of the season party talking about the energy and effort she brought to the game. That's just who she is, 100% effort all the time. It's been great watching Ava grow up into a strong, kind, compassionate, industrious, intelligent, and responsible individual. As a student, Ava is bright, dependable, consistent, and thorough. As a friend, loyal and giving. Ava is the kind of person who wants to leave the place better than she found it. She wants to make a difference, whether it's a service trip to Alaska, restoring trails, or taking a summer course on confronting poverty. Ava cares deeply about the world in which she lives. Her focus and commitment helped her evolve into an outstanding athlete, competing in both varsity tennis and field hockey. Ava has so much going for her and carries herself with grace, humility, and dignity. I'm proud of the person you've grown up to be and have little doubt great things will continue for you. Keep on doing what you're doing, and best of luck, Ava. Okay. Brian's TA. Cecilia could not be here, and so I'm going to attempt to read her speech, which is in the form of a limerick for, dueling limericks, perhaps.
Exactly.
If I could have Daniel Gessel up here. Daniel Gessel. How are you, buddy? Congratulations. All right, so this is Cecilia's. There was once a young man named Daniel Gessel, whose love of storytelling was his true vessel. His passions included theater and history. He was a Cappy nominee and even played a little frisbee. Here, his many accomplishments I'll try to wrestle. Although he came to HB in 2019 during the pandemic, he leaves our school tonight as an honored academic. His Eagle Scout project was of historical importance. It honored the heroes of 9/11, the first responders. An exit pursued by a bear, he was nominated for being most comic. It is a well-known fact that Daniel loves a good tale. His plans for the future will likely be grand scale. A career made by blending two of his passions, by majoring in history, film, or something of the fashion. Whatever path he takes, the winds will likely help him sail. Daniel, you have proven that you recognize the importance of knowing the past in order to build a better future. May your time in Connecticut be instrumental in creating your own unique story. Congratulations from Cecilia. And Cecilia wanted you to have a copy of the speech. Nice job.
John Abbott. A poem by Cecilia Allen. There once was a young man named John, whose français was rather très bon. His language journey started when younger was he, and for 7 years he toiled, so understood he'd be. And through La Langue d'Amour, his comic genius would shine, and his academic persistence would pay off in time. HB adventures included a middle school locker lock-in, 7-Eleven coffee runs, and Dan Paris's musical rockings. Entrepreneurship was another skill of John Abbott's. Being a team leader at Chick-fil-A became a weekly habit. At HB, he concocted ideas, and one day had a great vision. Along with some friends, the Woodlawn Diner came to fruition. In the fall, John's talents and genius to Richmond will go. He will explore music and design, and his creativity will flow. His dry wit and world observations at HB will be missed. But we know that John's future will be blessed. By all of the skills that at HB he honed and acquired, John Abbott, your humor and kindness will always be admired. May the skills that you acquired at HB propel you as you go forward. Your options are endless, so go forth and find your passion. Congratulations, John. I will be followed by my TA. Where's Elsie? Oh. Come on close. Oh my gosh, come on up. Elsie. Elsie, you are one tenacious and independent young adult. I've been so fortunate to have you as a student in my history class, in my creative writing class, and in my songwriting class. I've witnessed your inquisitive and intelligent mind. I've experienced your passion for a project that you were excited about firsthand. But if I had to choose one word to describe you, I would choose empathy. Because in all of those classes, I saw a young adult that not only cared about her friends, but cared for all of your classmates. You cared for everyone. You have always been quick to offer someone in need a listening ear or a comforting shoulder to lean on. I will miss you stopping by TA to talk about music or art, but I think I will miss even more the fact that you aren't here at HB looking out for others. Congratulations, Elsie. All right, Ori, come on over here. Ori, wow, where do I even begin? Maybe on the first day of on your first day of sixth grade at HB, when you walked into my middle school creative writing class, after only a few days of class, I realized that you were a writer with a unique style and voice. It was always a pleasure to read your writing. And from those first few days of your sixth grade year, I've been so very lucky to have you in one of my classes or in my TA every year you've been here. You've been writing here and at home, creating art here and at home, and teaching art at your mother's studio since your elementary school days. Ori, you are such a unique, creative, artistic, and wonderful human being. I would truly miss our long chats about art, Redbubble, and life. But I know you will find your people wherever you find yourself in life. Just stop back here every now and then for a chat. Congratulations, Ori. I truly will miss our chats. Let me clear off my junk here. I am followed by Bill Podolsky.
All right, TA. Hi. Hi. Max Jameson. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Max is the next cast member of Ted Lasso. Max is a star soccer player with a hugeness of heart, dedication to his team, complexity of perspective, persevering spirit, and all-around good guy. From his young sixth grade days, I know Max to be of tender heart, who cares deeply about fairness and being treated with respect. At the same time, Max enjoys being one of the boys and might put on a tougher mask, safely guarding his vulnerable heart. While he sometimes may doubt himself or get frustrated, he quickly brushes himself off and gets right back in the game. Max never gives up. He might take a moment to grumble, but then his conviction kicks in and he ends up victorious. For the many successes Max has enjoyed, he sure does like to celebrate with a raucous "Let's go!" evidenced by a sometimes raspy voice. Speaking of his voice, he has always been a dedicated member of our chorus program, and I will truly miss hearing him sing with confidence next year. For Max's Chorus Paper Plate Award, I gave him Basso Chorus Coach Emeritus for the legacy of being such a dedicated member, the way he rallies his fellow singers, and a critical part of our team's success. My Ted Lasso reference became fully realized when I went to an HBFC game where Max, along with Sully, were suited up and coaching our rec soccer team. Max was an embodiment of all that I know him to be: encouraging, competitive, passionate, and ultimately successful. So Max, as you play collegiate soccer next year and enter the game of life, may you believe in yourself, never give up, and always achieve your goals. Congratulations. Amelia Catula. Hi, Amelia. So many of my conversations with Amelia, and especially throughout the college advising process, has been about her love of crew and her hopes of becoming a collegiate rower. Crew is a sport of artistry, discipline, introspection, and collaboration, attributes that I think beautifully define Amelia. As an artist, Amelia has studied piano from an early age and has been a dedicated visual artist studying with Faye Linda, who has spoken with great praise of the work that Amelia has done. The discipline required to succeed on the water is also seen in Amelia's accomplishment as a student, especially through the challenges of virtual learning last year. I was so impressed by Amelia's ability to find the silver linings, reframe the challenges towards positives, and do what she needed to do to succeed. Any conversation with Amelia illuminates her kindness, maturity, and introspective thought. She is wise beyond her years with insightfulness worthy of awe. While Amelia certainly takes pride in her own successes, she's even more motivated by collaborating with and enabling the success of others. Earlier this year, Amelia shared the accomplishment of her team at the National Regatta, but was more proud for the way it set up her team for success in future years. For her dedication and success, Amelia has accomplished, both at school and on the water. It does not surprise me that Amelia was recruited for and achieved a scholarship rowing position next year. Amelia, as you row your boat gently down life's stream, may you always find peace in the arts, dedication in your spirit, and kindness in your heart. Congratulations. Maddox Cromash. Hey. A Million Dreams from the Greatest Showman. That's the song Maddox suggested for our chorus to sing when he was in 8th grade, the song he sang at last week's cabaret, and the most fitting words to describe Maddox's HB Woodlawn career. A showman for sure, during his time at HB, Maddox has been an essential member of our chorus as a chamber singer and selected for local and national honor choirs. For our theater department, Maddox is engaged in at least 14 shows, both on and off stage, as theater tech, actor, and for his senior project, director and deviser of his own work. For his incredible contributions to our theater program, Maddox earlier today was awarded the H.P. Woodlawn Jasper Scholarship. But music and theater are but some of Maddox's million passions. With interest in STEM, Maddox has twice been accepted by the Virginia Space Consortium and spent 3 summers at Johns Hopkins Talented Youth Camp. Maddox is passionate about ultimate frisbee, and in addition to H.B. Woodlawn's EULA team, he has twice participated on the Peace Workshop, which brings students in war-torn regions together through frisbee. His million interests have him committed to everything, but through his dedicated work ethic, he gets it all done. Whenever someone needs a helping hand, Maddox is the first to volunteer. Maddox is a kind and gentle soul who is a reliable friend and ally for many. Indeed, Maddox is the greatest. Maddox, as you take on the stage of life, may you always be that greatest showman and never stop pursuing your million dreams. Ava Turner. There was Ava, a 7th grader, standing on a desk to measure a towering high schooler. For this ambitious, talented, and capable middle schooler was the lead costumer of our musical production, which she did with as much success as a pro. That artistry, determination, and accomplishment is what has defined Ava's H.B. Woodlawn career. In addition to costuming every musical since, Ava's artistic talent has been seen in the art room in her pursuit of advanced art courses, heard in the chorus room as a beautiful singer and chamber singers, and realized in theater for her accomplishments as a costumer, technician, actor, and even director, such as her impressive direction of Shakespeare's As You Like It earlier this year. Fine arts is just the beginning of Ava's passions and pursuits in high school. Ava's proud of her fluency in Spanish and has completed the highest level of Spanish offered in APS. Ava is also deeply passionate about people, equity, and social justice. To further her perspective and impact, Ava took both Latin American and African American studies here at HB. As her TA, helping Ava to fit all of her passions and requisite courses into a school day has required some creativity, including taking 2 courses during the same period and enrolling in online courses over the summer. But through Ava's tenacity, organization, and skill, she has been successful in all she's pursued. Ava, as you go forth, I hope you always climb on top of desks to accomplish the unexpected, fit into life as much as you can, and pursue your passions with reckless abandonment. Congratulations. Ryan Zauner. Hey, Ryan. Who is Ryan Zauner? Having taught Ryan for the past 7 years, I have a pretty good sense. Ryan is a smart and insightful student. He is eager to succeed in his classes and has therefore achieved straight A's throughout his high school career. Ryan is an active and engaged community member who is influential in our Future Business Leaders of America Club, has been a dedicated singer in chorus and now in chamber singers, and is a member of our Shriver's Best Buddies Club. In fact, the magnetism of Ryan's spirit ended up being the singular reason that a particular Shriver student kept showing up for virtual meetings last year. Overall, Ryan is kind, considerate, and a joyful young man who I've loved getting to know. Ryan is also a social being. He is for sure one of the boys, and within that posse has found an ideal central position, never quite seeking the center of attention, yet always seeming to have it, sometimes the butt of the joke, but always in on the joke, striking the balance between following the crowd and leading by an example of integrity. But as far as who Ryan Zauner is, I think that is a question, like so many of you graduating tonight, that Ryan is still working out for himself. Ryan, as you graduate tonight, emerging from HP Woodlawn and going forth into the world, my hope is that you see what you are capable of on your own. Be not guided by what others say, think, or do, but rather trust your instincts, rely on your wisdom, and in turn realize your capacity to lead. Congratulations. Bravo. Next up is Patty Walsh.
Atlas, where do I begin? You are one of the most creative, curious, and introspective people I've ever met. Walking beside you as you overcame some pretty serious challenges allowed me a perspective for which I'm grateful. I stand here with you tonight feeling like we are at the top of a mountain, or at least the 5th floor of HB, staring out at your future. Let's talk about your writing. You've always been imaginative, but putting your ideas on paper wasn't always easy. However, this year your English elective teacher described your writing process as more like that of a professional than a student. She told me you could have a career in writing should you choose to. And math, not your strong point back in 9th grade, but you worked so hard and unlocked whatever part of your creative brain hadn't loved math before. You're so passionate about learning everything, whether it's academics, creative mediums, or different cultures. I predict that you will apply that passion for future studies and apply your amazing creativity to solve problems our Earth and environment face today. Atlas, I'm so impressed with the graphic autobiography you composed for your senior project. You titled it Late Bloomer. Well, you and I share a love of plants, and I consider myself somewhat of a bloom expert. I've been observing you through all the seasons of high school, and I can sincerely say that you, my friend, are blooming right on time. Congratulations. All right, Michael. Come closer. Michael, we met each other during those dark days of virtual school. You made the best first impression because you always had your camera on and you were always smiling. And I was very jealous of your hair. You're a man of few words, but you have a remarkable way of connecting with others. When you joined my TA this year, I was so happy that I could continue getting to know you and feeling the positive energy that you just effortlessly exude. You told me you find your interest contradicting, playing 5 sports, competitive video games, and also loving Dungeons and Dragons. Well, I could argue that your interests are complementary, moving fast, working well with others, and creating opportunities to lead others toward victory. You write your D&D characters and love to make others laugh, especially with bad jokes. And despite multiple injuries and long recoveries, you keep training and working out and maintaining that work ethic that makes all your successes look easy to others. But I know you work harder than most to achieve all that you do. And our world needs people like you, someone who's an attentive listener, who thoroughly enjoys making friends, and who leads by creating a world that adventurers play in. I predict your interest in biology and the healing sciences and all those complementary qualities is how you will create a world where you help people thrive and become the best that they can be. I'm not an ultimate player and I'm not a gamer, but I think I'd always choose to be on your team. So keep smiling, Michael. Never lose that genuine desire to help others become their best selves. And congratulations.
All right, Casey's TA. All right, first up is Kaia Bonner. All right, since I first met Kaia, she has truly come to know herself, her talents, her limitations, and what works best for her. She's always been quiet in class, but there's nothing quiet about her personality. Her eye for fashion, her eye for photography, her dreams to return and live in Europe. One of my favorite memories of Kaia was watching her present on a panel for younger students about the ways to celebrate their differences and become advocates for themselves. Kaia's college essay began with a vignette about learning to tie her shoes in a way that no one else used. Through middle school and high school, she learned to embrace the many ways one can read a book or tackle a problem. Her perseverance is admirable. This beautiful, smart, sweet young woman is off to start her career and study of fashion in Europe and or Delaware. We're still figuring that out. So, congratulations, Kaia. All right, next is Isabel Brown, who's watching from home. Isabel has more gifts and talents than she realizes. She perseveres and knows how to see the good in people. Isabel worked her way through high school on a different path than most others. She found the people she trusted and worked with them to make her graduation dream a reality. Isabel has seen more than her fair share of heartache, and yet she persevered. Despite the difficulties of high school, Isabel has much to contribute. She is gentle, kind, thoughtful, and caring. And that's why she's excelling in her job right now working with young kids. One of the best compliments I can give, Isabel, is that I hope every teacher my daughter has is as caring and kind as you. This journey has not been straight or easy, but you have crossed this finish line. I'm so proud of you and all you did to make this happen. Jazira Harvey. So many days this year, I've walked into my office and found Jazira at my desk, keeping the lunch crew laughing and me smiling. And whether they were watching shows, drawing on the whiteboard, or complaining about classes, Jazira has found her people. Unlike me, Jazira loved virtual learning. She excelled academically, got to spend time with her dog and be with her family. But we actually missed her a lot here at school. Jazira has always been a bit of an old soul, and I appreciate what she prioritizes. Over the last year, she became a mentor, a role model for younger students in cohort. She helped organize some events and was a part of our Young People of Color group and the Office of Equity and Excellence. During her English elective, she chose to read Black female authors and for her senior project to paint Black women, lifting up with praise many attributes that have been criticized in the past. This young woman could not be more ready for college and all that comes after. Jazira, enjoy this next adventure. You earned it. Congratulations. Jillian Keating. When Jillian decided to join my TA, I thought I might have my hands full. And instead, during high school, my interactions with Jillian were truly enjoyable. She is funny, she's spirited, she's loyal. She excels at what she chooses to do. All through middle school and most of high school, one of Jillian's passions was softball. She was a pillar of the Wakefield team for 3 years and spent many weekends and evenings playing with her Sage team. Similarly, with academics, when Jillian puts her mind to it, she makes it happen. She might not have loved pre-calc, and we might have spent a lot of virtual TA sessions hearing about it, but she put in the time and the effort, and she excelled. Her perseverance applies to whatever she sets her goal to, getting a job, getting her license, her job, staying in an AP class. Jillian is opinionated and strong-willed, and those are the two attributes that I know will carry her far in life. Congratulations. Spencer McCarthy Wommeldorf. All right. When you watch Spencer play volleyball, you see and feel the presence she has. She helped to anchor the Washington Liberty volleyball team throughout high school, despite COVID. She spent endless evenings and weekends at practice, games, and tournaments with her travel teams. Spencer is academically capable and quite self-aware, and that combination presented both opportunities and challenges during her time at HB. School was not always the most comfortable space for Spencer, but she and her team of advocates navigated that twisting path to success and to graduation tonight. Spencer is sharing her love of volleyball with younger girls in clinics, putting in hours at the taqueria, all in preparation for continuing her volleyball career as she starts college this fall. Spencer knows the journey she's been on, and I know there are many exciting milestones to come. Congratulations. Tahia Rahman. Tahia has been a strong and quiet presence in the class of 2022 since 6th grade. I've learned more about her experiences and interests over the last 2 years, but I think it only scratches the surface of what this intelligent, strong young woman offers the world. Her grades are nearly perfect, almost without effort. A beautiful photographer of her friends and her surroundings. She works long shifts at the Giant and has more than a few stories about the crazy patrons she deals with on any given night. She loves Korean soap operas, which were a regular part of lunches in my office this year, and she is a proud Bengali woman and one of the few hijabi students here. That has at times taken its toll on her, but also made her an advocate for herself and others. You bring courage, confidence, and intelligence to all the many successes you will have in your future, and you will make them happen. Congratulations. Elizabeth Rosenblatt. So Elizabeth is a maker, a thinker, and someone who is really trying to be in tune with who she is and what makes her happy. She does not make her choices based on what matters to others. She chooses what her day, her week, and her future will be, depending on what she knows is right. Elizabeth has a unique and special personal style that's important to her, both in how she dresses, does her hair, and how she navigates the world. She is in tune to the mind-body connection and the way that her decisions impact her. I believe she's happiest when she's with friends, walking, creating, whether that's painting or drawing or making, knitting. She is not a traditional art student, but she sees the world through such a creative lens. The thing I most appreciate about Elizabeth is that she takes her time, she thinks, and then she acts. She is deliberate and thoughtful. Good luck in Richmond next year. Congratulations. All right, Luke Scott. All right, this summer we learned a new 12th grader was starting at HB Woodlawn, moving here from Amsterdam for his final year of high school. I gave him a tour and wondered how this would go. He was so European, and we were so not. The pandemic majorly interrupted Luke's education, and this here in the U.S. would be a second chance. Luke learned a lot about this year, about independence, about perseverance, about love, and about committing to a goal. He was not a senior like most. He was living with his grandma, learning to cook, having to get himself up in the morning, getting his American driver's license, making new friends, taking a really tough schedule of classes to get all the credits he needed. I don't think he slept much, but I know he grabbed on for the ride and made the most of his time at HB Woodlawn. Every time I saw him in the hall, no matter what was happening, I would get an ear-to-ear grin and a big thank you for the opportunity. Truly, I am so proud of you. Congratulations.
I want to do a shout out to my mom watching online, and my sister too, and these people. I love them very much.
All right, next up is Stefan Green.
All right, here we go. Jesse Anderson. Oh, you like, whoa, okay, my man. I remember being at prom last month, just sitting by myself at a table, just watching the students and staff have a great time. And up walks Jesse, and he starts engaging me in casual conversation, something that has never happened before. He complimented me, I complimented him. However, before it got too weird, awkward, or quiet, Jesse's next words were immediately, okay, see you later. Why is this so cool? Because just 4 short years ago, the quiet, shy 9th grader that I had in my class wouldn't have approached me just to talk, even though I'm super approachable. When I asked Jesse to tell me about a time that sticks out most, I thought he would tell me about an amazing field trip or hanging out with friends or how much fun he had playing one of my cool PE games like shoot ball. But no, what sticks out to him most? The fire he and Zach started in the science lab. Was that middle school? Was that middle school? Earlier this year, Jesse was struck with an illness that left him hospitalized for weeks, which caused him to miss a lot of school. However, with his teacher's support, his own resilience and determination, Jesse was able to catch up on all his work and continue his senior year. I asked Jesse what's the one thing he looks forward to next year. He's looking forward to trying new experiences. He said, well, since I'll be in Denver, I want to learn how to ski. Jesse is a shining example of the old saying, it's not how you start, but how you finish. And Jesse, my friend, you have finished well. Oh, you brothers need to switch. Kieran, come on, bruh. All right, Kieran Adavajan. I sometimes wonder what's going on through Kieran's mind. If I had a quote, it would be, guess what I'm thinking. Kieran is a smart, insightful, curious, kind, and witty student. If you asked him what his greatest accomplishment at HB was, he would say that it was drinking 5 cartons of milk from the cafeteria. However, his English teachers would tell you it's his thoughtful writing and critical thinking. His chorus teacher would tell you it was his commitment to chorus for 7 years. His 9th grade teachers would tell you it's his silly nature and inability to stop laughing at something funny that happened in class. High school has at times been challenging for Kieran, and seeing how far you've come since your freshman year, I know that you are prepared and ready for your next journey. When I asked Kieran what he hoped to do next year, he said survive. Change that. You've already done it. You survived HB. Not that HB is like some prison, but the reality is not everyone who comes to HB finishes at HB, but you did. So do yourself a favor and switch from wanting to survive to going to thrive and watch how your world opens up. Congrats. That's right, you can do it. All right. Evan Lucas. All right. If there was a quote for Evan, it would be, it's cool. Don't worry. I got this. Evan never takes himself too seriously. He has a good sense of humor. He's laid back no matter what he's doing. And he always has a smile for his teachers. I remember when Evan was in one of my more challenging PE classes, my E block. There were some good days, and then there were some days when I just had to let the class have it. But even during those not so good days, Evan still came by and told me to have a good day before walking out of the door. I'm thinking, what? When I talked to Evan's teachers, that was the common sentiment. Evan is so nice. I can't even imagine trying to parent a child like that. His niceness would be disarming. It would be like him having some Jedi mind control over me. I imagine I'm his dad and he's grounded, but he takes the car anyway, and then he crashes it. And then I go off, and then he says, yeah, I crashed the car, but it's cool. Don't worry, I got this. You're right, you got this. Now, when you go out into the working world, there will obviously be more skills needed for you to be successful. But know this, people do business with, invest with, and do what they can to help people that they like. You may not have won this or that academic award. You may not have written the best paper or crushed it on a math test. But, Evan, you have an underrated gift that some adults don't even have. People genuinely like you. So my advice, build on that, go out and be great, and remember, it's cool. Don't worry. You got this. Next up, Steve Mckinney.
All right, guys. They're there. They're all there. All right, Harry Eichler. You're first. That's you. All right. Harry's always going to have a special place in my TA because he was the first guy I had for all 4 years of high school. And in a lot of ways, he was a really easy guy to learn about being a TA with. He's an awesome student and a self-motivated go-getter. He earned extracurricular certifications in aviation and engineering. He's a member of NHS, a cadet commander at his patrol school, and he's a key contributor to WNL's recent hockey dominance. Really a great guy to be a TA for, but he and his family did have some good questions about what courses to take as he pursued a cyber technology certification from the FBI, just like Colin did. So Harry, I want to say to you and your parents, thank you for your patience with me as I learned how to TA. Thank you for your patience every time I said, let me ask Kate and get back to you. I know I'm a better TA now because of it, and now I think of you every time I help a younger student plan out a cool extracurricular path like yours. Thanks again. I know you're going to do great in your next steps. Zach Miller. So my first year at HB was your 6th grade year. We've been at HB the same amount of days, and I taught Zach every friggin' one of those days. And, oh no. I'm not saying it is a downside, but if there is a downside to teaching someone for 40% of their life so far, it's that you can get pretty close in that amount of time, and this is tougher than I thought it would be, and I thought it would be pretty tough. So next fall will be my first Zachless day at HB. And while my work week will probably have less cringe-inducing one-liners, it will also have less reasonably well-informed debates and great conversations about games and music. Zach, I've watched you grow from a measly 6th grader to a young man taller than me. I've seen you go from the beginning of Cub Scouts to being ready to complete your Eagle Scout project. I can confidently say I know you very well, and I hope you are as proud of yourself as I am of you. We'll get it. We'll get it. And last but not least, Teddy Rocky. Going to move from two guys I've known for quite a while to a different situation. It was August of 2021, earlier this very school year, when I found out that Teddy Rocky existed in the universe. Our paths never crossed in the previous 6 years, and when his old TA closed up shop, he ended up in mine. So we meet at the very beginning of the year, and a few days later he comes to me and says, Steve, I need my counselor recommendation by Friday. Awesome. So I sit down to write, and I think, Teddy Rocky. It's a cool name, but I'm going to need a little more than that. So I outsourced some Teddy stories, and I was blown away by the anecdotes I got back. I don't have time for all of them, but I think the best one was when Mark shared with me how Teddy built a functioning ultralight aircraft at the beginning of the pandemic. Now, to Teddy's credit, he had already tried to tell me that he built an airplane, but I figured he was talking about Legos or something. So the time I would have saved if I would have just listened to him and made my recommendation like caps lock, Teddy built a plane, comma, let him in, exclamation point, 100 emoji, 100 emoji. Put that on Naviance. That's what I should have done and saved a lot of time. But anyway, Teddy, what I want to say is we had a great year together, and I wish we had more, because the more I learned about you, the more impressed I was. To all three of you guys, I want to say I know you're going to do great. Don't be strangers. Come back and visit. Next up, Catherine Frum.
Nico Corlaber.
Hi.
You. Oh, thanks. I like yours. Nico is an artist in every sense of the word, not just as one who creates artwork, but as someone who sees the world as an artist does. Everything that Nico takes in their world is seen through the lens of its potential as something beautiful, or at least creative in some way.
This can have the benefit of seeing beauty where the rest of us don't, but in addition, it also provides Nico with an opportunity to look at things more closely and carefully, often seeing more than at first seems visible. And I'm not the only one who thinks this. Last year, Nico was nominated for one of our school's limited spots in the Congressional Art Exhibition and National Annual Competition. Nico has also taken their love of art into the theater world as well, starring in several HB musicals and plays, as well as going behind the scenes and managing 2 shows. For their senior project, Nico created dozens and dozens of paper cranes that are now beautifully displayed around the building. I cannot think of a more lovely and fitting legacy. Congratulations, Nico. Anne McElhaney. First impressions aren't often very accurate, but in the case of Anne, my first impression was spot on. I thought she was brave before I even met her, and after working with her this year, I know she's brave. The decision to transfer your senior year is incredibly challenging, especially at a small school where most of the students have been together since 6th grade with friendships long established and norms and routines firmly set. Anne had no idea what she was getting herself into, but she was willing to try. She tells me that the transition went fairly well, and while I'm sure that this is true, I do also think that a lot of the ease of her year is because of who she is. She seems to have developed an aptitude of positivity over everything else. For her senior project, Anne spent 3 weeks with a classroom full of first graders. See my first comment about being brave. Not only did this go pretty well, it went so well that Anne is now considering teaching as a career, something that makes all the sense in the world to me. Anne, I am wowed by you. Your decision to come here must have felt risky, but you did it anyway. I have every confidence that you're going to excel next year. After the way you handled yourself this year, college is going to feel practically easy. Congratulations. Mary Edith Plunkett. There she is. I'm not sure that I've ever met anyone who is as excited about language and the origins of words as much as Mary Edith is, and I'm an English teacher. I have watched her literally squeal with delight when she discovered where certain words come from and their relationships to each other. I never thought of this as a squeal-worthy endeavor until I met Mary Edith. She's been equally excited about teaching herself Chinese, offering piano lessons over Zoom, getting a job as a barista, and starting a lunch club for non-native English speakers. She took on each of these the same way she takes on so many things in her life, with joy first and foremost and fortitude as a close second. Meanwhile, in another part of her galaxy, Mary Edith has an incredibly talented musical side. She has studied piano privately since elementary school and shares the skills with the H.B. Woodlawn Chorus Program. She's been a passionate member of this chorus program since 6th grade as part of middle school chorus, treble chorus, camerata, and chamber singers, and has been accepted to APS and all district honor choirs. This year, she was accepted in the most competitive senior honor choir and received the Chamber Singers Directors Award. Mary Edith, you blow my mind away. I will never understand Bitcoins, and I certainly won't understand your fascination with them, but I do understand that whatever it is you choose to get excited about, you will do so wholeheartedly, and we're all going to be the better off because of it. Congratulations. Ella Richard. Ella has an interesting combination of professionalism and idealism. This makes her just wide-eyed enough to actually believe in all that work that she does. She has a plan in place, but an openness in its approach. There is certainly a methodical path towards what she is hoping to accomplish, but Ella is not short-sighted nor stubborn in her tactics. She has been a part of HB's chorus program since 6th grade as a member of middle school chorus, treble chorus, camerata, and chamber singers, and has been accepted to APS and all district honor choirs. In addition, Ella applied for and was accepted into the Virginia Aerospace Science and Technology Scholars Program, where she participated in the academy at NASA Langley Research Center. Ella is part of a wonderful group of friends, and her time with them has been an important quality of her life and happiness at HB. While Ella's interests are extensive and varied, her commitment is deep and her focus is sharp, qualities that will serve her well whether she is singing her heart out or going on to colonize Mars. Congratulations. Jasmine Taylor. Jasmine is one of the most consistently reliable people that I have ever met. And not just in terms of trying to get A's, which she does, but also in terms of real life as well. If I have asked Jasmine to be there, she is there, no questions asked. If I message her, she responds, just like that. She also loves game shows. In fact, she loves them so much that she created an HB team for the trivia-based game show It's Academic, which appeared on TV this last fall. There has not been a team at HB in several decades, so Jasmine had no basis on which to start this team other than her love of the Saturday morning game show that she regularly watches. And I did literally nothing to facilitate this team other than agreeing to be their sponsor. She coordinated the practices, designed trivia questions, and ultimately became the captain. She has an approach to working that goes beyond that of the here and now attitude. She is easily able to take in the larger perspective and see beyond what is right in front of her. Some of this may be Jasmine's natural abilities, and some of it comes from seriously paying attention and figuring out what needs to be done by knowing what to ask. Jasmine, may you continue to set your sights on the metaphorical equivalent of a game show, working hard and sometimes winning, but also finding joy and shouting out the answers. Congratulations, Jasmine. Next up, Leanne.
Charlotte Dennis, everyone. Okay. So Charlotte joined my TA after transferring to HB as a sophomore. This is no easy feat, given most students arrive here as sixth graders and already have created bonds and connections. Adding to this already challenging situation, Charlotte is the type of person who moves through the world unassumingly and quietly. Just like me, actually. So it can take some time to really get to know her. Initially, I was concerned Charlotte would struggle to find her place at HB, but after a few weeks, my fears quickly dissipated after realizing she's the type of person who really knows who she is and what they bring to the table, which is such a rarity for a teenager, let alone adults. I knew then she was going to be just fine. Charlotte not only found her place at HB, but she's excelled. Charlotte is so many things: a winning artist, an accomplished gymnast and athlete, a true intellectual, a musician, a volunteer, a hiker, a loving daughter, sister, and grandchild. I could really go on and on about how amazing she is. But what I think really makes her exceptional is her maturity beyond her years, her benevolent spirit, her quiet confidence, and her resiliency. She is a gem, and those who really take the time to get to know her, to really, really get to know her, are all the more better. Charlotte, I will miss you in TA next year. Thank you for being such an incredible role model and mentor for the younger students in my TA, and for teaching us all how to make a really mean friendship bracelet this year. I wish you all the best on the next chapter of your life, and I have no doubt that you will continue to make the world a brighter, better place. Congratulations.
Come on up. Ooh. I'm doing it alphabetically. So Gia, come on up. Congratulations to Gia Bloom. For the past 6 years, I have watched Gia develop into a confident, thoughtful, well-spoken, and resourceful young person. She is wonderfully creative and has a beautiful style about her both personally and artistically. She also has a great sense of humor that serves her well as a friend and family member. She's gracious and kind and goes out of her way to help others. One thing I really like and respect about Gia is her ability to remain calm and focused and to think introspectively about situations that arise.
Gia's had a lot of changes in her life, and she readily adapts and finds practical solutions to everything that develops. Gia is also very interested in cultural and social issues, and I've learned a lot from her and impressed with her depth of knowledge, reflections, and musings about the world. Last school year, Gia and a friend offered an art journaling club during virtual schooling and continued when we returned to the building. They were able to adapt and be productive with all the changes. Gia came to class with an agenda and inventive ideas to enable the group to reflect and share their responses. It was an enjoyable and relaxing welcome to my week as her teacher sponsor, and I'm sure to the other participants. I will miss my time with you, Gia, and wish you every success in life, and I know you will make the world a more beautiful place. Congratulations to Carly Cameron. Carly has such a great attitude about celebrating life in general and getting to experience as much as she can. She's always on the go, and I'm impressed with her ability to be present in the moment for each of her activities. Carly's been an enthusiastic member of our Ultimate Frisbee team since 6th grade. She played on a USA team and in the Youth Club Championships. She's a great athlete and enjoys the camaraderie of playing with her friends. This year, she and another senior were co-captains of a JV team, and I've enjoyed seeing them almost every day after school, bringing excitement and skill development to eager underclassmen. Carly's also been a central part of our town meeting by acting in various roles over the years, including as chairperson. And in fact, she won the Ray Anderson Award this morning. She's a calming influence among those who have a lot of enthusiasm for certain topics. Carly has also been very active in our fine arts department. Whether she's acting, directing, or being a stage manager, she has dedicated herself to helping produce and create success in our drama department. She's also a talented photographer and has won numerous scholastic awards. And something I think is an act of thoughtfulness and creativity, Carly helped organize the letter writing campaign so that each of our incoming 6th graders would receive a handwritten letter with advice from a senior on the first day of school. Obviously, our 6th graders were thrilled to be acknowledged by a senior. Carly has a keen eye for what's going on in the world, and I know she will be a person who demands and works for change to make her community not only healthier, but more inclusive and humane. I will miss our talks, Carly, and wish you every success next year. We should practice. I know. Congratulations to Ada Carter. I've known Ada for 6 years and know her to be super friendly, conscientious, hardworking, and a very warm individual. She's inspiring, resourceful, and spontaneous, but she can also concentrate and stick through projects with amazing dedication and maturity. I'm thinking the tiny houses. She helps out at her church and has a job at a popular pastry shop. At school, home, and on the job, Ada is responsible and trustworthy, and she takes on every challenge willingly and with an ease and grace of one far beyond her years. Ada is one of the nicest and considerate people I've ever met. This is not a cliche. One example is when I was out of school for a few days in the fall, she wrote to ask me if I was okay. When I returned, I told her my dad had passed away. She immediately offered me a genuine hug, told me how sorry she was, and asked questions about him as a person. She checked back in with me later that day, and that's what I would call lovely. Ada is wonderfully creative, and I love that she decorated her eyes in a different way each day to enhance the boring mask look so many of us sported. She's very imaginative and entertained us during TA with her witty banter for years. She's brought tears to my eyes because I laugh so hard at her conjured up stories. She's taken us outer space and into tunnels deep within the earth. Remember? Ada could definitely be a stand-up comedian, but I hope she's able to find happiness in a profession where she can develop relationships and positively impact others on a daily basis, as she will bring great joy and affection to those she meets. I will miss you, Ada, and wish you every happiness as you continue your studies. Congratulations to Cormac Cothrell. Cormac has always been a hardworking and conscientious student. When he came to my class in 7th grade, I was so impressed with his determination and resilience. He missed a lot of school that year and needed to be in a wheelchair. To his credit, he wanted to participate in everything and keep up with his work for each class. I immediately thought he must be such a great guy because he always had so many people around him to help. I can still picture his friend Evan pushing him up the steep hill to the upper field so Cormac could participate in PE class. Cormac's interests are diverse. He's played on our Ultimate Frisbee team and enjoyed his work with the Theater Tech program. There's always something to be done, but he really enjoyed working on the Black Box shows. He's been a dedicated member of the National Honor Society and Finance Club. I was pleasantly surprised when Cormac became a founding member of the Sources of Strength program. It's a group of high schoolers who study and then lead the rest of the school in matters relating to social and emotional health. Cormac was a really big help to me and our TA when we approached these topics from our computer screens during the year away from school. He was educated, intentional, and respectful about the matters we discussed. Cormac's had roles as a counselor in summer camp and has given his services to Martha's Table. He's also been a cashier at a fast food restaurant in a mall. He said the experience taught him a lot about getting along with others, but I think he was already prepared in that area before he started. I'm going to miss your visits with me, Cormac, and I hope to hear all about your experiences as you continue your education. Congratulations to Jacob Singer. Thanks, Will. I've known Jacob for the 4 years he's been at HB. Throughout his time here, there's been a large group of vocal and enthusiastic girls in my TA, but Jacob's always been able to hold his own and is often the calm, reassuring voice our group certainly needs. Jacob's been a really good sport about participating and gives thoughtful advice when asked. Jacob's a self-motivated learner and a critical thinker who likes to problem solve. Aha, there's the motivation to keep coming to TA. And he has a very understated measure of confidence and accomplishment. And accomplished he has. He won first place in a regional level of the science fair for his work on studying the effects of one-to-one devices and their influence upon learning both in and out of school. He participated on the Student Advisory Board and was co-chair of the Technology Advisory Committee. Through that body, he was asked to be part of the APS Reopening Task Force and help the superintendent's office safely and successfully plan for hybrid and virtual schooling. Jacob's able to see the big picture and find productive ways to get there. He's also been very involved in his congressional community by helping teach lessons to younger students, and he's helped teachers transition to virtual classes during the pandemic. Jacob spent 2 years as a member of the Jewish Community Relations Council, which helps to teach students about Judaism and to combat anti-Semitism. He's also been an integral part of the Interfaith Dialogues group, which meets with members of other faiths to learn and appreciate the similarities and differences of their religion. Jacob approaches his academics and extracurriculars with a great deal of maturity and preparedness, and those will serve him well as he continues his studies this fall. I'll miss you, Jacob, and can't wait to see how you change the world. Up next is Kirsten. So, you guys.
Congratulations, everybody. Congratulations. Congratulations to Josie Kelly. In these most unusual of times, you joined HB for a senior year like no other. Throughout it all, you've brought joy, inquisitiveness, dedication, compassion, and color to all that you've done and to everyone you've met. Your generosity, kindness, patience, persistence, resilience, and positivity have been an inspiration to see as you dove into the many facets of life at HB, including running, creative Spanish projects, an internship with lively elementary school students, and much more. Your sunny presence and good humor shown at the weekly gatherings of Spanish language and English language learners, and your delight in art, language, nature, fun conversations, and music have been so much fun to be with, and you encouraged all of us to take the time to connect and to color. May the next steps of your journey ahead bring you much joy, and may you always find amazing opportunities and places to discover as you move forward. Your talents, compassion, and generosity will take you very far. And may you always have time to connect with others and keep coloring a very bright future. Many congratulations.
Mark Dixon's TA, come on up. And Mark couldn't be here tonight, so each of them have a different person saying their speech that Mark has written. So just imagine all these people as Mark Dixon.
I'll go first. All right, so I'm going to go first for Nicholas Wakeman. So come on up, Nicholas. So just imagine that this is Mark Dixon talking. Nicholas joined HB during the fall of his junior year. Can you imagine the challenges in doing that? New classmates, new teachers, new school, and all virtual. In calculus, Nicholas was immediately behind because he hadn't had a chance to complete the preparatory summer assignments. Despite that obstacle, Nicholas worked extremely hard to catch up, and he eventually emerged as the top performer in AB Calculus that year. Simply put, Nicholas perseveres, and he continued to do so in all of his courses, and throughout his senior year as well. In his short time with us, Nicholas also made huge contributions to our music program. His teacher, Risa, was excited to add a new violist to the HP orchestra, and she told me that Nicholas quickly emerged as an exceptional musician both on viola and on guitar. For his first concert, held virtually, he arranged a piano part for guitar, and his guitar solo opened and closed the performance of that piece of music. At this year's final concert, he led the viola section as it was featured in a Wolf Trap commission by Isaiah Chapman. To quote Risa, we all have enjoyed Nicholas's rich, beautiful viola sound and his great guitar playing. Nicholas, thank you for joining our HB family and for enriching our school community. I'm excited that you will continue to pursue your musical passions next year, and you have lots of fans here cheering you on. Your intellect and talent will take you far. And by the way, keep on running too. I wish you all the best.
Okay, I'm going to be speaking on behalf of Mark to discuss Sullivan, better known to his friends and family as Sully Atkin. All right. Sully is the senior class's Renaissance person. Scholar, athlete, singer, student representative, investor, and even DJ. Mark first met Sully when he took his 8th grade intensified geometry class. Even way back then, and even in my 6th grade class, Sully was intellectually curious. He wanted to understand just not how things worked, but why. Since then, Sully has gone on to take our school's most rigorous courses, and he has excelled in all of them. He does so with a calm and unassuming manner. Yet, I know beneath the surface how diligently he prepares. Beyond his considerable accolades, Sully is a caring soul. In Mark's classroom, he was gracious and helpful to all his fellow classmates across different friend groups, and he never failed after every class to boom out, "Thank you, Mark," and with its unique cadence. In Mark's TA, Sully always checked in and would often stay to help counsel younger students about their course requests. For his senior project, Sully and 2 friends flew to San Diego to clean up garbage on beaches, in national parks, and on city streets. Sully always finds ways to help others. Sully, you personify the HB philosophies of self-directed learning and caring community. Mark and I will miss you next year, but I'm so excited for this next chapter in your life. You absolutely thrive in academic rigor, and your next community is so lucky to have you.
All right, I'm going to be speaking for Mark on behalf of, or for Oscar Linehan Sue. All right, Oscar. Oscar has a refreshingly independent spirit and a very wry sense of humor. Mark first met Oscar when he joined his Algebra 2 class as a freshman. For many students, Algebra 2 is an especially challenging course. It's chock full of new, tough concepts, and it forces students to think abstractly. Oscar did just fine, but behind many of his comments that year was this recurring sentiment. Mark, this math is all well and good, but why are we learning it? Oscar wasn't being flippant. Rather, he was just articulating what every math student often thinks, even if afraid to say so out loud. Oscar's candor was a vivid reminder to Mark that effective teachers don't just share their academic passions. They must also connect those passions to their students' lives. Oscar is also genuine and insightful, and his observations can be quite poignant. In AP Statistics this year, he often pointed out how obsolete our textbook has become. What are white pages in telephone books? And who still gets charged by the minute for phone service? Last year, during virtual school, Oscar shared with Mark his frustrations with our political leaders whose poor decisions contributed to the mess we all had to endure. Also, during that virtual year, Oscar wrote an especially nuanced music review of a YouTube performance. His teacher remarked that it could have easily been published in a professional journal. Oscar, we will all miss your intellect and your witticism. Thank you for contributing to our HB community. We wish you all the best in the next chapter of your life. Please stay in touch, and congratulations from Mark.
On behalf of Mark, Jack Vu. Jack is a stellar student and a creative problem solver. I first met Jack in my 8th grade intensified geometry course. Even back then, I admired how Jack loved to solve puzzles and how he embraced the logic of proofs. That talent has continued to serve him well in our subsequent courses together. Jack's mathematical writing has always been exceptionally uncluttered, clear, and elegant. Jack is so accomplished, well beyond math. He earned recognition as a National Merit semifinalist. He has taken our school's most demanding courses and has earned impeccable grades. He is an Eagle Scout, a tennis player and coach, an actor, and a chef. For his senior project, Jack immersed himself in learning how to cook Vietnamese cuisine. His creations were delicious. And Jack does all this without any hint of self-importance. In his own quiet and humble way, Jack prepares diligently and he never cuts corners. Jack, you exemplify what it means to be a self-directed learner. We will all miss you next year, but we are so excited to follow your academic trajectory. Your perseverance, intellectual curiosity, and terrific work ethic will take you far. On behalf of Mark, we wish you all the best.
Yeah. Let's go!
Next up is Graham McBride.
Gentlemen. Parents, just so you know, we're halfway done. Leo, come on up. This is Leo. Among other things, Leo has excelled in Ultimate Frisbee. He's been playing Ultimate his entire career at HP Woodlawn. And he's improved drastically because he's put the work in. He's self-motivated, he's directed, he's creative, and he's extremely talented. He's a fantastic graphic designer, videographer, and video editor. He creates all of the graphics for the team's Instagram page. They're incredible if you haven't checked them out. Leo's incredibly smart. He's a leader. And he understands how to move people in a direction to reach a common goal. He's someone whose advice I trust, whose opinion I respect, and whose leadership Frisbee coaches have looked to in times to right the ship on the Ultimate team or to keep up a team or class's momentum. He's also founded a chess club at HB Woodlawn, a game that's spreading like wildfire throughout the school now. He's still number 1 on the leaderboard, and he beat me in 1 minute and 46 seconds. I'm not that good. Leo's good. What many of us find most inspiring about Leo is that he pursues individual, creative projects outside of academia, and for no real personal gain, with a passion and persistence that ultimately produces amazing results. He's doing these things without supervision, without advisement, and without incentive other than his own personal growth. For Leo, I'm looking forward to hearing about the next chapter. And for any of you who might have said or thought over the last couple of years that you wanted to move to Canada, Leo's living your dream. Good luck in Canada, Leo. Will. Hi, Will. I got to do it. All right, I got to quote Jay-Z to start this one. Will is not a businessman. Will's a business man. Will has approached school and outside projects with a business-like demeanor. For 7 years, I've checked in with him through various ups and downs, and the bottom line is he's cool, he's calm, he's collected. Look at him. I'm not sure if you all know where my office is, but the senior couches are within shouting distance. Operative word there, shouting. There have been several instances this school year when I've had to go over there. Again, shouting distance. And whatever rowdiness is occurring, I approach it, try to calm it down, and one of my distinct memories is that within whatever craziness is happening, there's Will. Just like that. And I'll remember him just like that. A subtle nod of the head, the embodiment of the SMH, all right? And he's with friends, he's in the mix, but he's just shaking his head knowingly, knowing that all the tomfoolery, right, is bad for business, all right? He's on his way to class. He's approached his college search like an analyst would, weighing pros and cons, discussing with interested parties, myself included, what could tip his decision. Came down to a logical and determined set of criteria, and I was proud of him for how he approached it and for what he decided. For his senior project, as you may guess, he started a business. And any of you guys who buy or sell things, right, he was in the resale business for that several weeks. And we talked a little bit about that project, and to see his passion about what he was doing was really incredible. His business-like demeanor served him well in that area as well. He's moving on to the state of South Carolina, hoping that he's studying business, and I'll miss him, and I hope he stays in touch. Will Roscan. Carlos. Hey, Carlos. Carlos Sue. One of the words I would use to describe Carlos is reliable. He has become a fantastic self-advocate here in his 4 years at HB Woodlawn. And he has challenged himself greatly with his courses and his outside activities. The growth we've seen in Carlos in his confidence and his maturity over his years here is impressive. When he was a new 9th grader in my TA, I had a little difficulty finding him sometimes to check in. But as the years progressed, he grew to trust me a little bit more, and we've had several standout conversations as we talked about course planning, summer plans, and his growing friend group. Speaking of friendships, Carlos is a true and loyal friend, right? As the connections that Carlos built here at HB grew and the bonds he formed became strong, he was a regular outside on this field at the 2 p.m. soccer game, enjoying a sport he loved with friends and always making sure to return the ball. Carlos's maturity and character was also evident in the spring of 2021 when we held a memorial for a staff member who passed away. The event was held virtually, and well over 100 people were in attendance. In a demonstration of how he has grown in self-confidence and his maturity, Carlos shared a short eulogy, remembering how this particular staff member, an athletic coach, had supported him here at school and in his life as an athlete. His willingness to be vulnerable in front of his peers and to share pieces of his own life with the broader community were remarkable and truly honored our staff member's legacy. As I was grieving myself, I never got a chance to tell Carlos how much that meant to me until now, and it meant a lot. Character, confidence, loyalty, all things that make Carlos ready for the world. And I look forward to hearing about the next chapter. Congratulations, Carlos. Travis.
Hey, come on down. Travis TA. Ethan, Hoel, Zach, Mary, Glenn, and Isaac. Love you too, Taylor. Love you too, Corinna. So, Ethan, come on over. I was thinking a little hot for this hat, but it has style. And underneath that, nice hair. So when I first met you, Ethan, you were a new student in my class. This was Spanish for fluent speakers 1/2/intro, all of that together in the same room. Because the class was mixed with different age groups, grade levels, changing proficiencies, I was a little worried about how you would adapt and fit in. Fortunately, I knew Taylor was there, and you already had a positive working relationship. I quickly noticed how well you worked with technology and projects while using Spanish as a tool to communicate. You added music to projects, animation, and some of the coolest little claymation ducks I've ever seen. When you produced content in class, I knew someone who was creative, adaptive, and collaborative. I'm now happy to see you much taller and even more ambitious with your musical work. I'm going to wish you the best of luck in the future. However, I'm sure you won't need luck, as you can rely on your background knowledge, your sense of self, positive skills as a relationship builder in a changing and dynamic society. Come back and visit anytime. We'll always look up to you, Ethan, with a smile when you come in the room. Adelante, Ethan. Buena suerte. Joel, aquí estamos. Vente pues. So, Joel, you were in Michael Mandel's Spanish class when I first noticed you, and you were in a more advanced level of Spanish. You would hang out in the back with Ethan, and often in the hallways I would see you. And I said to Michael, who are these two kids? He would say, they're Pebbles and Bam Bam from an older cartoon, The Flintstones. I believe this had to do with the way you would pull your hair up in a certain plucky style. Michael soon told me, after hanging out in his room a while and watching him teach you, that you were one of his brightest Spanish students. You had an almost innate ability to connect content from a book to personal experience, and you were not afraid to show off your amazing Spanish skills as a tool to deliver your point. I've enjoyed watching you share your beliefs about social justice and equity issues in another language, and I've also loved that I've learned to rely on you to come to TA. And we've talked over some of your personal and professional goals. We've looked at bullet points on documents that you shared with me, pros and cons list of where to go to college. And I see that you're always taking so much into consideration in how you can build your knowledge and sense of self to help and serve others, especially those from vulnerable and changing populations. I also want to thank you for keeping so many lines of communication open with TA during that pandemic, and for always telling me what was going on in your life. You will surely be a powerful leader and an agent of change in this world, and your future school of education at your university is so lucky to have you. Un abrazo. Zach. Hey, Zach. So Zach started off in my range of view as a kind friend to Corinna and the group of girls in my Spanish class. Sometimes they'd hang out in my room in the old building, and sometimes they'd be back on the sofa in Michael Mandel's classroom. When I asked Michael about how Zach was performing in Spanish, he'd say, "Es un buen alumno. He's a good boy." I could see in all his interactions with the classmates in Spanish and with Michael, Zach was kind, caring, and consistently able to use Spanish to keep up friendships and important ways of building self-esteem and peer support. Adolescence can be a complicated time full of change, and going to a new building took those friendships from the back of the room at Vacation Lane to new hallways and classrooms here at the Heights. Zach, however, despite these changes, You always came into my room, TA, each week, asked for candy, told me how you were doing, and in between bites, you shared plans for college, personal interest, information about your family. I got to thinking, just in a blink of an eye, Zach, you were no longer un pequeño alumno, a small guy, but a tall and impressive force for good in the hallways that makes way for others to learn about being part of a caring community. Always be that buen alumno, a good guy that we can look up to. I know you will. And in Filipino, we say, salamat. Thank you. Mary Glenn. Ah, Mary Glenn. Okay. There's certain speeches that make me feel emotional as I type the first words on the page. And this is the case with you, Mary Glenn. I've come to rely on you, and so has that community on the 3rd floor. Not only have you helped remind me to take care of my fish, you've modeled good behaviors and kind expectations on the red floor of wild middle school boys. A flip of your hair or a direct look at any boy in my room during A or B block when you get your coffee and stop by each day has meant the world to me. I would not say that those boys who are figuring out at the middle school level how to be kind to others are afraid of you. I would just say they have deference to you and want to learn about being kind and all the steps that it takes to be a community member. You will always protect the vulnerable, the animals, the plants, the shy people online who did not want to speak during the pandemic. Everyone can use a powerful friend around like Mary Glenn. I know the world is not what we want it to be. I get that. We fight that. And we make connections in the community as a way of just dealing. Go where you will find your people, the weird people like us. Those who you can show by example what it means to be kind and empathetic. Remember to give everyone a second, third, 9th chance. We love you, Mary Glenn. I know I always will. It's so hard to let go. Buena suerte, amiga. I love you. Isaac. Isaac. One of my best memories of you is seeing how happy you were with your new UGG boots in middle school. This was back in the old building, and like a judgy teacher, I immediately quipped, "Put those Uggs away and pay attention." Then I noticed the awesome fit, the style, how great they would look on my feet. I'm glad you could help me get online to find the website, order them for myself, finding the perfect size, put in my debit card. One of my most challenging moments, however, with you was when you had that Perrier bottle and you were flipping it on the desk. Flip, smack, flip, smack. And I kind of just, 12 times, Isaac, put it away. In the end, I'll miss those challenging moments and those that are fun and focus on building positive experiences while growing and learning a language in class. When I pulled together my girls, I call them my queens, Maggie, Martha, all them older old teachers that I love. We got in the car one afternoon. We went to go see you in the hospital. Martha the whole time, pay attention, watch where you're going, do the turn signal. Anyways, you totally smiled when we walked in the hospital and you welcomed us with your awesome mom and dad. All of your family is so kind and awesome like you are. I will totally tell you, Zadie is super cool and so important to my class, as you were when you took Spanish. Keep giving everyone those memories and all that you are. You really have unique qualities that others want to be around. I know, as I've said it so many times before, the world will be better with more HB students in it. The world is so much better, I know, because of you, Isaac. Gracias, amigo. Thank you. And last but not least, we got Nakia.
I see what y'all did here. Okay, save the best for last, right here. And this is my first senior speech, y'all. So, and y'all had to put me last, but hold on, and look, Casey said, keep it short. These speeches Y'all went on a little bit. I rewrote my speech and everything to keep it short, but no sir, no ma'am, no they, no them. We finna turn up. This is my girl, Rosalind Robinson. I'm adding my stuff back in. Y'all got time. No, I'm playing. All right, so since Allison left, Rosalind became my first senior ever. So basically, I was the backup plan. It's okay. It's always good, seniors. It's always good to have a well thought out backup plan. So Rosalind did that. So I've known Rosalind since 6th grade. I watched her grow into her own person, from performing at HB's very first Black History Month talent show to playing volleyball for Wakefield. I was given the task to guide Rosalind her senior year, but she did a lot of things independently, which I admire. Over the course of her time at HB, Rosalind has had my number, and she has checked in with me, asked any questions she needed to ask, and if she didn't ask the questions, her father definitely did. Her family made sure that she was taken care of, and Rosalind is very loved by her family. I want to share with you 5 additional things that I learned about Rosalind in the time that I've known her that I admire. 1, she takes pride in her Nicaraguan, Black, and Thai heritage. She loves her family very much, and she's very thankful to them for her success. She likes to shop like me, period. She does her own lashes, and her lashes are always laid. Y'all, her pictures are always good to go. She loves food, and as her senior project sponsor, I got to see all of the tasty dishes she made. She didn't bring me any, but it's all good. Rosalind, I will miss your bright smile. I will miss your laugh. I already know when you're in the hallway if I hear your laugh. I know you will hit the ground running as you get started on your journey, and I wish you all the best. Continue to make us proud. Congratulations.
All right, so that is our last of the class of 2022. So while the faculty comes up for our last moment here, let's give it up a big round of applause for the class of 2022. So we have been closing our graduation in the same way since HB Woodlawn was founded. Faculty, come on out. And we will close this out, and as soon as we are done with this part, we will ask the seniors to come up and stand here, and we'll get one last class picture with the building behind them. So stay tuned.
There you go. You're in the center. There. Can you see that, Archie? Can you see that?
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. Make the best of these days and don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs that still brings in your mind. Hang it on a shelf and good health and good time. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth right. I hope you have the time of your life. The feet of a dancer, hope you can sing in the rain. Hope you find all the easy answers to your pain. It won't be easy, but what can I say? There will be trouble on the way, and around every corner there'll be terror and fear. Always remember that we're here. Hope you find the feet of a dancer. Hope you can sing in the rain. Hope you find all the easy answers to your pain. I hope you find love and affection, someone who cares. I hope you find all the right direction everywhere. Everywhere, shoulder to cry on whenever you're low. You can rely on us to know there's nothing too crazy, nothing too dear. Always remember that we're here. And I hope you find the feet of a dancer. Hope you can sing in the rain. Hope you find all the easy answers to your pain. I hope you find love and affection, someone who cares. I hope you find all the right direction everywhere. Everywhere. Hope you find the feet of a dancer. Hope you can sing in the rain. Hope you find all the easy answers to your pain. I hope you find love and affection, someone who cares. I hope you find all the right directions everywhere. 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 Always remember that we're here.
All right. Thank you, HB Woodlawn faculty. Class of 2022, if you guys want to come up, parents feel free to grab a photo if you want, and then we will start packing up, and these guys will head to the pool. Thank you, families. Thank you, friends. Thank you for being a part of our night tonight. I'll start making that out.
Oh, my back. Congratulations.